today's video, we're gonna be talking about like 100 Easter eggs in SpongeBob. Now, how this is gonna work, okay, is I'm going to point out the Easter egg and then I'm gonna show you clips of what that Easter egg is referencing. All right, so I'm gonna shut up and get started. Hysterical history. Here's the first Easter egg.
Waiting for... tickets, please.
That's really cool. So as you just seen there, King Neptune's crown from the first 2004 SpongeBob SquarePants movie appears in a glass case at the museum entrance. A really cool reference to literally the best SpongeBob movie, just saying. Here's Easter egg number 2.
Wow! A genuine antique rock! The pioneers used to ride these babies for miles!
I love this one. I'm not 100% sure if this is an intentional Easter egg, but I also really do think it is. As you've seen in Pizza Delivery, SpongeBob makes a comment about being able to ride a rock, and then he literally even rides the rock in the episode. And it seems this is referenced in Hysterical History, because as you guys just heard, SpongeBob looks at this antique rock and says that the pioneers used to ride these babies for miles, and the rock is even rideable just like in Pizza Delivery. So cool. Let's keep it going though. More Easter eggs are coming up.
A gazillion years ago, Bikini Top was hit by a humongous anchor.
It's really quick, but Primitive SpongeBob and Primitive Patrick from SB129 reappear during the Bikini Bottom origin scene. Also, the prehistoric location and houses from UGG also reappear in the scene.
Pioneers have to watch out for those dirty, stinky outlaws.
It's the Grungy Gang! Ooh, I knew something smelled fishy.
This Easter egg is more of like a recent one, so I understand some of you guys not getting it. But if you look at these guys that are a part of the Grungy Gang, they're actually the same cowboys from the season 13 episode, A Skin Wrinkle in Time.
Psychedelic Sea Era.
Yeah, so who remembers SpongeBob's Last Stand? Patrick and SpongeBob, they like protest the demolition of Jellyfish Fields and they dressed like hipster versions of themselves. Well, they make a reappearance in this scene right here and they look as chill as ever. Now guys, we're gonna head over to another episode now. Let's head over to Sammy Suckerfish. There's like 3 Easter eggs in this episode and they're all really freaking cool. Here's the first one.
Crabs is cheap. Squidward smells.
It's true! Squidward smells great!
References to old school SpongeBob are always the best, so I love this first one, as that graffiti right there is a reference to Sailor Mouth. It says Squidward smells and Mr. Krabs is a blank, and this is identical to what SpongeBob finds on the dumpster in Sailor Mouth.
Lick up the windows, lick up the doors, lick up the ceiling, lick up the floors.
Easter egg number 2 from Sammy Suckerfish is all about the sterilized Krabby Patty, as it seems to be similar to SpongeBob's sterilized kitchen in Procrastination. Some people on Reddit said this one's an Easter egg, but I don't know, guys. This next one, though, is definitely an Easter egg.
What do you expect from a sewer dwellers convention? Table manners? Alright, you've had enough.
So this dude right here is the sewer monster, and he actually made his first appearance all the way back in like season 6, so like 20 years ago, so like 12 years ago. But in Sammy Suckerfish, he actually like randomly appears as a customer, and this is the first time we've seen him since Krabby Chronicles, so a really interesting one here. That's it for Sammy Suckerfish, but let's head over to Sheldon SquarePants. This one has one Easter egg that's really cool.
Why, look, Cecil! It's a baby boy!
Fantastic! I've always wanted our son to have a brother!
Some might argue if this is actually an Easter egg or not, but the ending of Sheldon SquarePants, as you just seen, hints that Patrick's parents from the Patrick Star Show are canonically alive outside of the Patrick Star Show. We've never seen them outside of the Patrick Star Show, and remember that like them being introduced technically retconned Patrick's actual parents from regular SpongeBob, Herb and Margie. So technically an Easter egg, but if you want the real deal, let's head over to The Dirty Bubble Bass, which has 4 Easter eggs in the one episode. Here's the first one.
We can handle this ourselves.
Wow!
This is really cool. So back in Mermaid Pants, which isn't the oldest episode, but it's still already around like 10 years old. But in this episode, it's revealed that Mr. Krabs is actually a comic book fan, which I'm gonna be honest with you is not very like accurate to his character. This dude used to serve in the Navy. When was he ever reading comics? But anyways, Mr. Krabs' superhero room that was first introduced in Mermaid Pants reappears in his office in this episode.
No!
This one goes really back to Krusty Krab training video, one of my favorite SpongeBob episodes, as in this episode we see this please wash your fins sign right here. Now we literally haven't seen this sign since that episode, but we do see it in the dirty bubble bath right here, making for a cool reference.
Jackpot! Or should I say, chump pot?
Back in the hankering, a big plot point is this large vat of chum. And in the dirty bubble baths, it just randomly reappears right here. Here's one more from the dirty bubble baths, and then we'll head over to our next episode.
382.
Did you catch it? Well, the kitchen sign from the classic episode Welcome to the Chum Bucket reappears in that same chum vat scene. Now these four were awesome, but they've got nothing on the Easter eggs in Squidiot box. Here's the first one.
Oh, not bad. A jungle safari could be fun.
When Squidward imagines himself in a safari outfit, this is actually a reference as he wears the same safari outfit that he wore in Yellow Pavement. Well, the hat's the same, so this one might be a reach. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. It's kind of similar. Next up, we've got the episode Bassword. Here's Easter egg number 1.
Old Man Jenkins has a plane!
Oh yeah.
This one is so cool. So if we go back to, I believe, season 3, we have the episode, The Sponge Who Could Fly. And in this episode, SpongeBob wants to fly like the jellyfish. And when his pants get like inflated, he actually like kind of flies. Now, there's a running gag in this episode about Old Man Jenkins and his plane, as you guys seen in the clips, all right? Well, this exact plane from The Sponge Who Could Fly reappears in Bassword.
Jetsam City, here I come.
This one's like interesting, but the Bikini Bottom station has the exact same design it had back in the Great Patty Capital. Let's head over to our next episode, Buff for Puff. Of course, here's the Easter egg and what the Easter egg is referencing.
Whoa, Mr. Krabs! Looking good! Was that Larry?
All right, if you aren't a massive SpongeBob nerd like I am and tapped into the SpongeBob universe, you might not get this one. But as some of you probably know, there's a SpongeBob spin-off show called Camp Coral. Both Mo and Craig Mamilton appear weightlifting together, which is also a reference to them being Frigate Captain members back in Camp Coral as well. So yeah, here's Easter egg number 2 from Buff for Puff.
This was a mistake.
Abandoned Jim!
You can do this, Mr. Krabs. Do it for Mrs. Puff.
SpongeBob's gym outfit in this shot right here is the exact same one he wears when exercising with Gary in Gary's Got Legs. Let's head over to Single Self-Defense and talk about the Easter egg I found in that episode. Okay, so this flower shop right here with shattered glass is a reference to the episode Love That Squid. You guys seen the clips before this, so you get it, but this one's hilarious. I love that they even kept the shattered glass from Love That Squid. Here's Easter egg number 2.
Congratulations, Plankton! But remember, this technique is to be used strictly for self-defense.
Oh, of course, Sensei Sandy.
This one's kinda weak, but I'm gonna include it anyways. But as you heard, Sandy tells Plankton to only use self-defense for good, which is exactly what she told Squidward in Squid Defense.
Karate ain't for revenge. It's a delicate art that helps you protect yourself.
So maybe an Easter egg here, and even if it is one, it's kinda lame, so let's head over to one that's actually really good. I'm talking about Jolly Lodgers. Here's Easter egg number 1. It's easy to miss, okay? But when Squidward's bus arrives at Hotel Halibut, Jim's limousine from the original Fry Cook can be seen outside of the hotel, making for an awesome reference. I loved Jim the Fry Cook. He's from the original Fry Cook. There's another Easter egg in this episode, or I guess I should say Easter eggs, because it's like a ton of Easter eggs in one. There are numerous references to the episode I'm Your Biggest Fanatic. In I'm Your Biggest Fanatic, we learn that SpongeBob is obsessed with Kevin C. Cucumber, who's like a famous jellyfisher, and he attends a jellyfishing convention where we see Dr. Manowar and the Jelly Spotters. And all of these characters reappear in Jolly Lodgers. Anyways, next up is Star Robics. This is a season 3 episode of the Patrick Star Show, and I will say season 3 is like really good. Season 1 was like alright. It felt like it was made just for the purpose of a spin-off show, but season 3 is like really good, dude. But anyways, here's the first Easter egg from this episode. As you can see, we get this shot right here of this time closet wheel, and there are multiple locations seen on it that are references to other locations from SpongeBob. For example, prehistoric Bikini Bottom, which we already talked about today, Random Land from SpongeBob and Random Land, I do not want to go there, Conch Street, the surface of the moon, and the future seen in SB129. Okay, one more Patrick Star Show episode. The episode is the Fun Bucket, and take a look at this.
Where would you like to go?
Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out.
Yeah, that right there is Patrick's Department of Thoughts, which was originally seen in a season 6 SpongeBob episode. The episode is titled Chum Bucket Supreme. All right, back to regular SpongeBob. I know that's what you guys really want. Let's do the episode Ma and Pa's Big Hurrah, another season 14 episode, which is all about SpongeBob's mom and dad making their first reappearance in a couple of episodes. That isn't the Easter egg though. So this one's debatable, but this seems to be a reference to the season 5 episode Roller Cowards. In this episode, SpongeBob and Patrick want to ride a new roller coaster at Glove World, the Fury Fisto Pain. It pretty much like kills people, but they really want to ride it. Now, in Ma and Pa's Big Hurrah, as you guys saw, when SpongeBob and his parents are at Glove World, they skate on a roller coaster that looks like pretty much identical to the Fury Fisto Pain. It isn't confirmed to be an Easter egg, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. I think this is an Easter egg. Check out our next Easter egg in the episode Sponge Chovy. What a cool reference to the first ever episode of SpongeBob. It's not exactly identical, but it's very close, with SpongeBob sending numerous Krabby Patties out to anchovies just like he did in Help Wanted. All right, let's head over to Tango Tangle. It's all about Plankton and Karen taking dance classes, and they actually are kind of good, like they kind of slap, but I mean, come on, we're here for Easter eggs.
Love the new stems, Plankton. Whoa.
This one is really cool. So who remembers the episode I Heart Dancing? Yeah, well, who remembers the outfit that SpongeBob wears in this episode? This outfit right here. Look at my boy. I want to get one of those outfits for myself. Now, as you guys just saw in the clips we showed you in Tango Tangle, this exact costume is referenced. Here's the next Easter egg from the same episode.
Oh, yes. Yeehaw!
It did not go well.
In the last scene of that montage, Plankton is actually wearing the same zipper helmet from the iconic episode The Algae's Always Greener. Really, really cool. And believe it or not, I still got another Easter egg from the same episode. Alright, so last one from Tango Tangle, and then we're heading over to another episode. Anyways, this one is really special. So back in the episode Artist Unknown, Squidward over here teaches like an art class, alright? It doesn't go as planned, but the art classes take place at this place right here, the Adult Learning Center. Now, we haven't seen this location for years, like literally since Artist Unknown, so over 20 years. But look, in Tango Tangle, it briefly can be seen in this shot right here, making for like a heartwarming, nostalgic nostalgic Easter egg. Really cool, and we've got plenty more like this coming up, so let's head over to our next episode. Next up, we've got 2 Easter eggs from the episode very strangely titled Necro Nom 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 Icon. And as weird as the title is, the episode's plot is actually really cool, with SpongeBob getting a magical spell book and him just causing all sorts of chaos. It's a good episode, but that's not what we're here to talk about. Here's the first Easter egg. Let's see if you guys can catch it.
Speaking of customers,
Stop bothering Mom!
Okay, so who remembers the episode Squeaky Boots? In this episode, Mr. Krabs is being a cheap father and decides to gift his daughter a pair of squeaky old boots. Pearl is obviously unhappy about this, but anyways, these squeaky boots are referenced as, look, when Mr. Krabs is kicked out of a fish's cafe, he's kicked right in his big old butt with one of those squeaky boots. I definitely think it's the same boot.
Whoops, pardon me.
what a polite little hunk of cheese.
This one's blatant because it's not like some cameo or a character hidden in the background, but if you remember the episode Scavenger Pants, we were introduced to this lady right here, the Sand Witch. Now, we haven't seen her in a long time. It's been quite a while since we've seen this lady, but that all changes in Necro Nom Icon, whatever the episode's called, because look, she actually has a very prominent role in the episode. Really cool. Next up, we have Dr. Smart Science.
We now return to one of my favorite scientific topics, astronomy.
Okay, so back before your mom and sister started obsessing over astrology, Squidward over here was a big fan of astrology. Like, my boy was a crystal girly, as back in 2000 and 2001, there was this series of shorts called Astrology with Squidward that would air on Nickelodeon during the commercial breaks in between shows. Okay, so the history lesson is done now. Now we can break down the Easter egg, as despite not being referenced or talked about for years, Astrology with Squidward was actually referenced in this episode, Dr. Smart Science. As look, Patrick has a wheel with various SpongeBob characters representing the astrology signs. And to really show that this one is 100% a reference, some of the signs, for example, Leo, I'm doing a side-by-side, are even the same. But let's get back to something that a lot of you guys will actually catch, all right? Because like I said, this one was kind of a deep cut. Here's Easter egg number 2.
How does that work?
You guys know I love classic references, and that's exactly what this one is, as back in Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 4, a big plot element is that Mermaid Man leaves this belt right here behind. It's his super belt. It has all these super abilities. SpongeBob plays with it and ends up shrinking Squidward down. And when he's trying to figure out how he can reverse this and get poor Squidward back to regular size, Patrick over here, being, you know, a genius, suggests that he flips the M to a W to put it in Wumbo mode. Yeah, well, Wumbo mode is somewhat referenced in Dr. Smart Science. As in the Patrick's How Does That Work intro, we can see this text right here saying Wumboology or Wumbology, making a clear nod or reference to what I was just mentioning from Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 4. Next up, we've got Blood is Thicker Than Grease, which only has one Easter egg, but it's really, really cool. Roll that clip, guys, and here's a hint. It has to do with Plankton's family.
There's room for the whole Plankton clan!
Hello.
Like I said, I really, really like this one. So, back in Plankton's army, Plankton decides that he needs to team up with his family to take down Mr. Krabs. And before he actually meets them and eventually realizes that they're a bunch of rednecks, there's this scene where he imagines what they could look like. We get all sorts of different designs of Plankton's imaginary ancestors. And guess what? In Blood is Thicker Than Grease, during the scene we already showed you guys, look, several of Plankton's family members that he imagined appear in this scene. Plankton has an interesting imagination. But yeah, really, really cool Easter egg, guys, and let's keep it rolling to another episode. Next up, we've got the episode Chum Bucket List. And in this episode, there's the World of Friendship song. Now, throughout this song, there are a ton of Easter eggs. I'm gonna play a couple clips from the song, and then we'll start breaking down all of them. Try and see if you guys can spot any of the Easter eggs before I actually reveal them. Really really cool. So during this shot right here of SpongeBob and Patrick's designs were actually storyboarded to channel the style of the first ever episode of SpongeBob. So they were actually drawn in a way where they look like season 1 versions of them. And we've got another one from this episode that happens after the song or after the montage. Roll the footage. Friendship. Did you guys catch it? So after the song, this explosion is played, and it might seem familiar because it's actually a reference to 3 older episodes. This exact same explosion clip was shown in Dying for Pie. It was then also used in The Krusty Plate, Frozen Face Off, and Neptune's Ball. And we still ain't done yet, gang. We've got more Easter eggs. Let's head over to another episode. It's in the episode Mamageddon, another season 14 episode that's actually really good, just saying. But I'm gonna play the clip, and I want you guys to pay attention to Squidward's pose, as this is the Easter egg, all right? Roll the footage.
I want my mommy.
Did you guys catch it? If not, don't worry. I do think that this one is kind of a reach. I'm only including this one because the internet, the SpongeBob community has really decided that this one is an Easter egg. But supposedly, the pose that Squidward makes when he, SpongeBob, and Mr. Krabs whimper on the floor is a reference and is identical to the one he did in the episode Immunity on the Krusty right here. Also in the episode Out of the Picture in this scene. But guys, it's time to end this video off with a bang. Like I said, I saved the best for last. Here's our next episode. Coming in hot is the episode Pet the Rock, and this episode has so many Easter eggs. I don't know if we're gonna be able to cover all of them, but we're gonna cover as much as we can.
We can stop at the pet store on the way. Do any of these pets pique your fancy?
This one's really cool. So first things first, this worm right here seems to be a reference to Wormy. This crab right here, though, is 100% an Easter egg, as it's the exact same one from the episode Whatever Happened to SpongeBob. If we look right here, we can see sea chimps from the episode King Plankton. If we jump over here, we can see the sea whelks, referencing the episode Whelk Attack. If we pop over here, we can see Mrs. Puff's peanut worms from the episode Growth Sprout. There's also the earworm over here from the episode of the same name, Earworm. We can't forget about the sea bunnies over here from Bunny Hunt. And of course, we've got Pluffy or Puffy Fluffy, the cute thing that eventually tries to eat Gary from the episode A Pal for Gary. Crazy, dude. That's like 6 in 1 scene. Wild. First up is the season 12 episode, The Hankering, which has 2 really cool Easter eggs, especially if you're a big SpongeBob fan, especially if you're a fan of the older seasons. Here's the first one, and here's a little hint. This one has to do with the SpongeBob movie, the original one. Roll the footage.
Sal, I'm feeling hungry tonight. How's about another plate of chum?
That was my last plate of chum ever! I'm moving to Shell City to make it big in the pictures.
Did you guys catch it? Well, all right, Shell City, which is a location from the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, is actually mentioned by Sal when he says that he moved there to become a movie star, which is really cool because the SpongeBob SquarePants movie is back in like 2004, and this is a season 12 episode. So it's awesome that the current writers still will pay homage to the older seasons and movies. And here's another Easter egg from the same episode.
Oh, come on, there's gotta be some chum in here somewhere. I, lost my shoe. See, found it. Okay, bye.
Now, I'm not 100% sure about this one, all right? But the shoe that Mr. Krabs digs out of the trash seems to resemble the one that Gary wears in the iconic classic episode, Your Shoes Untied. Here's a side-by-side. On the left, we got the one that Mr. Krabs digs out in the hankering, and here's what it's referencing on the other side. Really cool reference. I love Easter eggs. And guys, we've got crazier Easter eggs coming up, so let's head over to another episode. Let's take a trip back in time over to SpongeBob season 5. This season was from all the way back in 2005, over 15 years ago, and the episode in particular is Slimy Dancing. You know, it's actually crazy that they were even doing Easter eggs this early on in the show's airing, like season 5. Anyways, though, let's get right into it. Here's the first Easter egg. I I love this one. Who remembers the episode Sailor Mouth from back in the day? In this episode, SpongeBob and Patrick come across sentence-enhancing spicy words, which are pretty much swears, all right? They're saying inappropriate words, and whenever they're said, we hear like this dolphin chirping sound effect. Listen for a second.
Hello, Patrick. Lovely day we're having, isn't it?
This day is particularly lovely.
Well, this is referenced in Slimy Dancing, as when Squidward starts getting the cramp, we can hear this dolphin chirp in the background, which is most likely due to him swearing due to the pain from the cramps, which is awesome. And by the way, fun fact, this was the second time the dolphin chirping swear noise was used for censorship over swearing. It hasn't actually been done since Sailor Mouth, so awesome reference to OG SpongeBob. And baby, we've got more. Let's keep it moving and head over to another episode. We're gonna be having a lot of fun today, guys, especially if you're a big fan of SpongeBob history. This next one's pretty neat. Now, I don't use the word neat often, but this one's more of like a fun fact. It's still an Easter egg, but you guys will really like this one. In the episode Buried in Time, we get a real-life city imagined by Patrick, all right? Take a look at the clip.
What do you think Bikini Bottom will be like in the future?
Wow! Special drinking fountains for short people!
I dream of a town with the perfect blend of commerce and irrigation. Not to mention the breathtaking views.
Now, fun fact, it turns out this is a real place. It appears to be Burbank, California, the home and land of Nickelodeon Animation Studios. So, like I said, fun little fact. Let's keep it moving and get back to the real Easter eggs. Season 12 has some hit or miss episodes. Most of them are pretty good, and one of the good ones is Who Are Zoo, an episode where SpongeBob and Patrick create their own zoo made entirely out of bubbles. Pretty cool. I wish I could do that. This episode has 2 Easter eggs. Let's get right into it. Here's the first one. Keep those eyes peeled so it really makes sense. Now here's the thing for this one, if you got it, then you've watched a lot of SpongeBob, as it's a very specific reference that you'll only get if you watched the classic episode, The Thing. In this episode, Squidward gets covered in cement, and then everyone starts to think that he's some sort of creature. Of course, it's just Squidward covered in cement, but it gets so bad that the SWAT team comes in because of Patrick, and they take him to the zoo. More importantly, though, they keep them in this new area known as the Species Unknown area, since they don't know what Squidward is. Well, this Species Unknown area, which only ever appeared in The Thing, can actually be seen in this episode in the background over here, which is an awesome reference. And this one is a clear reference. Like, the Species Unknown area, habitat area in the zoo has not been there since The Thing, so I love this one. Really cool reference. And there's another one that's really gonna warm your heart if you're an old school SpongeBob fan. Look at this.
Hello, folks. Please leave all your sharp objects at the gate. Okay, Grandpa, spread them.
Yeah, I love this one too. A pencil that resembles the magic pencil from the Frankendoodle episode. You know the episode with Doodlebop. Here's a quick clip.
Aw, look at him. Ain't he a doll? Ready for action! Quack! Quack!
And the episode Doodle Dimension. Here's another quick clip.
SpongeBob!
Patrick, I'm right here. Aw, isn't he cute?
Yeah, that pencil is among the many items seen in the live-action close-up of Old Man Walker's box over here, which is awesome. I love Frankendoodle. They need to bring Doodlebop back again. Actually, wait, they did in season 14. I almost forgot. Actually, as a matter of fact, let's cover that episode. It has a really cool Easter egg in it. Now, I'm gonna get into the Easter eggs, but I really want you guys to take a look at some of these hilarious moments from this episode. It's a really good one, and then we'll get right into the Easter eggs.
Hey, my imagination box. I wonder if it still works. Oh boy, it's time for imagination.
Dude, season 14 so far has been pretty tight. I'm into it. You can see there's improvements being made. There's still some stinky episodes, but this one was a good one with lots of references. Here's the first one. You've probably seen some of them in the funny moments compilation we just did, but here are these awesome Easter eggs I was talking about.
Get off my sand!
What's happening?
Inside my imagination box. Squidward must be lost.
Lost in his own imagination.
Imagination.
So this one's simple. Pretty much, this entire episode is a sequel to the iconic episode Idiot Box. I mean, as you guys just saw, SpongeBob even does his iconic imagination animation, which is really cool. Also, here's a really fun one right here. As we learn in this episode, Squidward's imagination is the most active out of everyone's, which is why he's able to re-energize the box. By the way, we learn in this episode that the magic-like box is powered by people's imagination, and Squidward's imagination is so powerful he can recharge the thing. And this seems to directly tie in with the original episode, as if you think about it, in the end, Squidward ended up having the most fun in the box, and then he's taken away by a garbage dump, you know, in the original episode. But Squidward has the most fun with it, so it makes sense that his imagination would be the strongest. I'm rambling. There's another reference in this episode. Roll the footage.
Finally, a place with culture.
So back in the episode Mind the Gap, we were introduced to the Jazz Club, all right? And what's really important here is I want you to take a look at all of the patrons inside of it from the original episode Mind the Gap. Take a look at everybody inside, as some of these exact same people appear multiple seasons later in Squidiot Box when this episode returns to the Jazz Club. So really fun reference right here. Like, here's a side-by-side of some of the characters appearing. Love references like this. And let's keep it moving. We've got more Easter eggs coming up, baby, let's go. Next up is Squid Defense, and this one has a really weird Easter egg. Before we get into that though, I want you to take a look at some of these funny moments of Squidward learning karate. It's hilarious. We're gonna get right into the Easter egg afterwards, so stay tuned.
It is me, a big scary miscreant.
Take this! Hee-yah! Think that's gonna stop me? Hee-yah!
Okay, it's Easter egg time, baby. Roll the footage. This one's very obscure.
Come on, Squiddy, give it the old roundhouse.
All right. Hi-yah!
So this right here is the Slug Buddy punching bag, all right? It might seem like an insignificant background object or something like that. It first appeared back in the episode The Great Snail Race. In this clip right here, take a look.
Come on, Gary, move it. Up, down, faster, go.
It then appeared later on in the episode The Way of the Sponge when SpongeBob is trying to get his black belt. Take a look at this clip. And this is where the Easter egg comes in, as it just randomly appears in Squid Defense in this scene. I already showed you guys the scene, but there it is, the Slug Buddy punching bag right there. Really cool that it reappeared again randomly in this scene. They could have used any punching bag, but I don't think it's a coincidence that they used this one with this design. It's 100% a callback. Here's another nostalgic one from an older episode, a much older episode. The reference can be found in the more recent episode though, Pat Heart Squid, and it has to do with a certain garden. Here, take a look at this.
More luggage, please.
Did you catch it? Cause it's a special one. So back in the episode Truth or Square, as you guys seen, Squidward gets his garden, all right? And he loves this thing. And look, in Pat Heart Squid, it reappears during this scene, which I love. I love that for my boy Squidward getting his garden back. Let's head over to Gary and Spot, and it references a classic episode from season 2, that being the episode Dumped. In this episode, SpongeBob gets his little heart broken when his pet snail, Gary, wants to spend more time with Patrick than himself. So, to try and make little Gary jealous, SpongeBob gets a new pet snail named Larry, who is not only a lot uglier, but a lot meaner too. Like, this snail just sucks. At one point, SpongeBob lets him sleep in his own bed and he just ruins his bed. Now, since the episode dumped, Larry has pretty much disappeared from the series, but he did pop up recently in the form of an Easter egg, as when Gary frees all of the creatures from the animal shelter in the episode Gary and Spot, Larry is one of them, thus making for a fun little callback to the show's second season, one of my favorite seasons. In the iconic Season 2 episode Sailor Mouth, SpongeBob and Patrick learn some new spicy swear words from a dumpster outside of the Krusty Krab. Though they're told by Mr. Krabs not to use these bad words, they eventually ignore the old man and get themselves into some trouble. Well, Patrick gets SpongeBob into trouble when he goes to snitch on him. Before all of this happens though, we're given this iconic scene, like this scene is iconic, where SpongeBob and Patrick play a board game called Eels and Escalators, and it makes for a really funny scene. Well, 10 seasons later, in the episode Bubble Bass's Tab, I think it's a season 12 episode, this board game, Eels and Escalators, is referenced, with it appearing on SpongeBob's internal shelf of games.
Oh, the 3 deadly challenges! I got this game! Where is it? Game of Strife, Shoots and Bladders. Oh, here it is!
As you guys know, I'm a major fan of the Steven Hillenburg era of SpongeBob, so I loved this little nod. The season 10 episode, SpongeBob's Place, has a good plot, but I think the biggest thing this episode is known for is all of the wild Easter eggs. Now, I'm not going to cover this scene, which has like 8+ Easter eggs all in one shot, like holy cow, as we've covered it quite a few times already, but I did find another one, and it's spicy.
Hey! I see the problem! SpongeBob's not in the kitchen!
Remember the Nasty Patty that SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs prepared in the season 3 episode of the same name? Yeah, well, it appears again for the first time in a long time during this scene. There are some slight differences, but this was definitely a throwback to season 3, and I absolutely adore it.
Oops, I dropped it in the toilet!
Well, fish it out, and I'll dry it with me gym socks!
Squidward has referenced his groovy moves a few times, but the most notable reference, in my opinion, was in the episode Pat Heart Squid, as when Squidward tries dancing to attract people, at one point, his moves are precisely what he does in Culture Shock. And guess what? In response, the audience throws tomatoes at him, just like they did in that episode. Poor Squidward. Another classic SpongeBob episode that I loved as a kid was Season 2's Sandy, SpongeBob, and the Worm. This episode was pretty darn epic, with SpongeBob and Sandy teaming up and going on an adventure to find the Alaskan bullworm that has been terrorizing Bikini Bottom. Now in the end, they succeed and manage to lunge the thing off of a cliff, and for a while, it seemed like this would be the last we'd see of the Alaskan bullworm. That is, until the episode My Leg, as during the montage where SpongeBob is trying to purposefully damage Fred's leg, Fred sprinkles salt over his leg, then SpongeBob rings a bell, and the Alaskan bullworm slithers over to Fred. Pretty cool, huh? The episode, Appointment TV, has been covered many times on this channel, and that is due to it being full of Easter eggs. Like seriously, there is a good 5 to 10 Easter eggs in this episode, but today we're just going to focus on one. Back in the Season 3 episode, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 5, SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward, Sandy, and Mermaid Man dress up as the IJSLA, and Sandy dresses up as Miss Appear and wears this costume. Well, she wears the exact same costume 8 seasons later in Appointment TV, thus making for an awesome callback or Easter egg.
He may be half a mermaid, and he may be half a man, but to us he's more than a hero. He's our mermaid man.
Back in the classic episode, Chocolate with Nuts, SpongeBob and Patrick struggle with their newly founded door-to-door chocolate bar business. That is, until they come across this Barnacle Chips billboard, which inspires them to be a little more business savvy. Well, it actually inspires them to start lying to people, but yeah, well, as crazy as it sounds, this billboard has popped up quite a few times over the years as an Easter egg, with its most recent appearance being in the episode Teacher's Pests. Don't get me wrong, this is totally a really cool Easter egg, but I do find it funny that it's just a simple billboard. Nonetheless, I love classic references like these, so I hope to see it again in the future.
Eat barnacle chips. They're delicious.
They are most certainly not delicious.
Not the way I use them.
One of my favorite classic or iconic SpongeBob episodes is Season 3's Krusty Krab training video, an episode that parodies fast food training videos from the 90s and does a very good job at doing so. Now, as a kid, I absolutely loved this episode, so I was really happy when it got referenced in the episode Appointment TV. In this episode, a rare episode of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy is going to air on TV, and SpongeBob wants to record it. So at one point of the episode, we see him set up his VHS to record, and he looks at his tape collection to tape over a tape and record the show. And it seems that one of these tapes is the Krusty Krab training video, thus making for a really heartwarming and cool Easter egg.
Sounds like a lot of...
Hoopla!
Sounds like a lot of...
Hoopla!
Sounds like a...
Hoopla! Hoopla!
In the episode Nasty Patty, another classic SpongeBob episode, this episode is a banger. SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs are confronted by a health inspector who wants to try everything on the menu to see if everything is up to the health code. This guy's name is Health Inspector Yellowtail Andy, and to be honest, we haven't seen him much since this episode. He has appeared a few other times, but he's usually a different color, but recently in the episode A Place for Pets in Season 13, he made a big return, and he looks how he used to look, the way he looks in Nasty Patty. This was a really cool reference, and it's awesome to see such an iconic character return to the show, even though it was a fairly minor cameo. But anyways, here's a clip of both appearances with audio.
I'm going to need you to bring me one of everything on the menu.
Fresh sludge pudding.
More diet red tie.
Some fried
Please, gentlemen! Leave me to finish my work in peace.
Hold it right there, Krabs.
Oh no! The health inspector!
Oh yes, the health inspector.
In the episode Wet Painters, SpongeBob and Patrick are tasked by Mr. Krabs to clean the inside, or well, paint the inside of Mr. Krabs' house, at the cost of their behinds if anything other than the wall gets painted on. Well, spoiler alert, something other than the wall does get painted on, and that's Mr. Krabs' iconic first ever dollar. Now in the end, everything works out when we find out that the paint can just be removed with a little bit of saliva. Plot twist. But after this episode, Mr. Krabs' first dollar has kind of gone missing. We haven't really seen it since. That is, until the episode Bottle Burglars. As in this episode, the dollar is one of the objects that SpongeBob cleans on cleaning day. He actually ruins it. He scrubs it so hard that it turns into a quarter and then a penny before it completely disappears. But don't worry, SpongeBob just replaces it with a random $1 bill from his pocket, and Mr. Krabs never even notices. But talk about a cool Easter egg.
This paint actually comes off with saliva.
You told us the paint was permanent, so me and Patrick would be more careful and not get paint on anything.
Nah, I just like to mess with you.
Aw, Mr. Krabs' first dollar. How many what?
Don't forget to clean the safe, boys.
The character, Flats the Flounder, made multiple appearances in early seasons of SpongeBob. For example, Sandy's Rocket, Texas, but most notably The Bully, where he plays a major role, where he pretty much wants to kick SpongeBob's butt throughout the entire episode just for sitting beside him and saying, "Hey, poor SpongeBob." Now, since The Bully, he hasn't had very many appearances. He has appeared a few times, but it has been fairly limited. That was until the episode Don't Feed the Clowns, as he's actually a customer of the bakery who gets knocked out out by getting hit with a pie. Talk about a cool reference. It's nice to see Flats the Flounder back in action again, especially in a more recent episode.
SpongeBob, I can't believe you beat up a new student. I'm going to kick your butt!
In the episode, Captain Pipsqueak, Plankton comes up with the ultimate plan to join the League of Evil so that he can take over the world and, of course, steal the Krabby Patty secret formula. Well, in order to do this, Plankton has to do an addition, and during this scene, we see numerous villains from previous episodes show up for an addition as well. And boy, oh boy, does it make for an epic scene full of references. First up is Dennis from the first SpongeBob movie. Then there's this guy, a thug who steals the Patty Wagon, also from the first movie, Dr. Negative, Squidward's villain counterpart from the episode Mermaid Pants, really good episode by the way. There's also Madame Hagfish, the Earworm, Robot Mantis, Nosferatu, Gordon the Viking, Dorsal Dan, and my favorites, the Strangler from the episode Tattletale Strangler, and Doodle Bob from the episode Frankendoodle. That is like 12 to 13 references in one scene. Crazy.
Dude, sign in and wait your turn.
Get out of the car, fellas!
Take all your money and put it in the bag.
No, Mr. Bob, I expect you to fry.
When the full moon
I
rises.
am the Strangler. I'm the Strangler.
What is this
To be or line?
Our next Easter egg can be found in the season 13 episode Upturned Girls, an episode we've admittedly talked about a lot recently, but only because the episode is full of spicy Easter eggs. Now, the Easter egg in question has to do with this obscure SpongeBob villain, the Atomic Flounder. This supervillain was formerly an enemy of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, and made his first appearance in the season 1 episode, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 2, as an old retired version of himself that gets attacked by SpongeBob. Now, since season 1, the character has barely been seen, let alone mentioned. That is, until the episode Upturned Girls, as when Pearl and Narlene first arrive at Upturns, the exact same old retired version of the Atomic Flounder makes his first appearance in 20 plus years, making for a really cool little reference.
If I weren't retired, I'd... Do that!
Okay, so I know we already talked about this episode today, but let's head back over to Captain Pipsqueak for a second. Now, when we first mentioned this episode, I went over all of its cool references to past episodes, but I did leave one out, and this is due to it not being from a SpongeBob episode, but from a SpongeBob video game, and that's this blue little dude known as Prawn. Prawn made his first appearance in the SpongeBob video game, SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. It's really cool to see Prawn make his way over to the actual TV show. I wonder though, does this mean that SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom is now canon? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm curious.
Did someone call? Oh, I thought maybe I was looking at superheroes. But now I see it's just a couple of pieces of gnarled driftwood.
What did Prawn do?
The worst thing you can imagine. He put all of Mermaid Man's white clothes in the washer with a red sock.
What is that yellow thing? Some kind of mold?
I'm not mold, I'm a sponge. There's a cellular difference.
And last but certainly not least is our final Easter egg, which can be found in the episode Potato Puff. And it happens fast. In the SpongeBob SquarePants movie from 2004, we were introduced to Princess Mindy, the daughter of the almighty King Neptune, who does her very best to help SpongeBob and Patrick throughout the movie. Now, despite being such a well-known character, we haven't really seen Mindy for quite some time, but she did recently make a reappearance in the form of an Easter egg in the season 13 episode Potato Puff. Like I said, it happens fast, but look, Mindy can be seen as a painting on the wall of a nursery, thus making for an awesome little Easter egg. In the episode Bad Luck Bob, we're introduced to SpongeBob's lucky tie clip, this thing right here. And SpongeBob pretty much believes that this thing causes him to have good luck. In his mind, whenever he isn't wearing it, bad things happen to him. For example, at the start of the episode when he isn't wearing it, he slips out of bed, he gets crushed by his alarm, and even this happens. In the end, SpongeBob loses the clip and his life just falls to shambles, but as you guys can imagine, it's a cartoon and he ends up getting it back in the end. But more importantly, this episode has a bunch of Easter eggs, and let's get right into them. Here's the first one. I'm gonna play the clip and then I'll come back and explain it. You have to be a major nerd to catch this one. But if we go back to the old school episode Bubble Stand, a big plot point in that one is SpongeBob blowing bubbles, and he blows all sorts of bubbles. If you were paying close attention, one of those bubbles may have seemed familiar. In the original episode Bubble Stand, we see SpongeBob blow a duck bubble, this one right here, and a butterfly bubble. And in Bad Luck Bob, when SpongeBob snores, he blows something very similar. Here's a side-by-side of both, and I don't know, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I think that this was a reference, in my opinion. And we've got more. Here's another one, and let's see if you guys can catch it. It's another callback to SpongeBob Season 1, and here's a hint, it has to do with blowing leaves. You may have caught it, but the reef blower, as previously seen in the classic episode Reef Blower from SpongeBob Season 1, returns for the first time in a while and is used again by SpongeBob. This was actually the reef blower's third appearance, and it also appeared in the SpongeBob Sponge Out of Water movie. But I'm gonna be doing a video that's pretty much all about movie Easter eggs from SpongeBob, like specifically in the SpongeBob movies, so subscribe for that video in the future. But yeah, let's keep it moving. Here's another Easter egg. I'm gonna play the clip and then I'll come back and explain it. Roll the footage.
My lucky tie clip is missing.
Now this isn't a one-to-one reference, and I might be reaching here, but if we go back to the episode The Chaperone, there's this clip where SpongeBob emerges from his toaster. It seems that this is referenced in Bad Luck Bob, but SpongeBob looks kinda different. I don't know, let me know in the comments what you guys think. I think that this is a reference, but I don't know. But here's a fun fact about the episode. Take a look at this clip where SpongeBob gets his feet run over by a truck.
A new freeway?
This is actually a reference to the 1961 Merry Melodies cartoon Beep Prepared, when Wile E. Coyote's feet are flattened while trying to trip the Roadrunner. Here's a side-by-side, and yeah, that's a reference, pretty cool. You know what's also really cool though? The other Easter eggs we're gonna be covering today, so let's head over to another episode. And if you guys are enjoying, I know I said it before, but please subscribe, guys. I'm trying to hit 10K subscribers, and I'm really close, so please help. As you guys have noticed, there's no AI or anything in my content. Like, I'm a real person, like I'm talking, I'm a real person. The editing's done by a real person, and the scripts are written by me. So just, yeah, subscribe. I love you guys. Next up is the episode Upward from SpongeBob Season 15. This episode's all about Lady Upturn, which is really cool. I don't know if you guys noticed, but around like Season 10 or Season 11, Lady Upturn became like a regular occurring side character within the show. Like, she appears just as much as like Larry the lobster, if you think about it. But yeah, in this episode, Squidward and Lady Upturn actually become like besties. They become really good friends.
Regigild, pay the man.
You can't just buy the soul of a raw talent like myself. Lady, you just bought yourself an artist.
And remember, Lady Upturn is like a rich lady. She's like a Karen pretty much, but a rich Karen, and all of her friends are snobby. And a big plot point in this episode is her introducing Squidward to all of her friends. It actually makes for a really good episode because if you think about it, Squidward and Lady Upturn are kind of similar. So, you know, but yeah, here's some clips of this. It's really funny, and then we're gonna get right into what you clicked on the video for.
Oh my, it's incredible. But where are you going to live?
The mansion is mine. I cannot wait to show you off to my wealthy, taste-making friends. So you better get writing.
Yes, ma'am.
Like I said, it's a really good episode, and it's cool to see somebody actually supporting Squidward's dreams of being a musician for once. You know, everybody else just takes a big poop on his clarinet playing, but Lady Upturn actually invests money in Squidward. But anyways, let's get into what you guys actually clicked on this video for, and that's for some SpongeBob Easter eggs. Here's the first one, and here's how it's gonna work. I'm gonna play the Easter egg, and then I'll come back in and explain it for you guys, okay? Let's do it.
Lady Upturn! Always a delight to have you back at our gallery.
What do you have that's new and interesting? Nick!
Alright, so let me explain. When it comes to cartoons like SpongeBob or any other like Saturday morning kids cartoon, there's always going to be certain locations introduced that don't pop up in every episode. So for SpongeBob, it would be like Glove World. If you're a SpongeBob nerd like me, you know that Glove World is like, you know, SpongeBob's favorite place, and it'll pop up every couple of seasons. Well, something similar happens in this episode. But for it to make sense, we have to rewind back to 2 older episodes. The first one being the episode The Masterpiece, and the other episode being Squidward's School for Grown-Ups. In the episode The Masterpiece, we were introduced to the Art Museum, this place right here. And guess what? It actually popped up again in Upward during this scene right here. That's a really cool reference. If we head back over to Squidward's School for Grown-Ups, back in that episode, we were introduced to the famed Bikini Bottom Opera House, this place right here. And guess what? This place also pops up again in Upward during this scene right here. You know, when it comes to SpongeBob Easter eggs, they usually reference like, you know, the most common SpongeBob stuff, but it's really cool when they reference like lesser known episodes like Squidward's School for Grown-Ups. That's like an old episode, dude. And we're not done yet. I've got more Easter eggs. Let's keep it going. Here's another one. I'm gonna play a clip with the Easter egg and then I'll come back in and explain. Let's do it. Now this one is really, really funny. So if we go back to the episode Band Geeks, an iconic episode, there's this iconic scene with Patrick. Roll the clip.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
No, Patrick, mayonnaise is not an instrument.
Yeah, well, that's referenced in Upward. As if you look at the Opera House, Patrick is literally playing mayonnaise as an instrument. So take that, Squidward. You know, if you remember, Squidward said that mayonnaise is not an instrument, but I guess it is, right, Patrick? Damn. Okay, here's another one, and you have to be a major nerd to get it, okay? It references the episode Squid Noir. Roll the clip.
Lady Upturn, there's a jellyfish blocking your ears.
Is that what he really sounds like?
Okay, so if you guys remember back in the episode Squid Noir, I believe it's from season 11, there's like a reoccurring joke. It especially happens at the end of the episode where the jellyfish, the ones that always pop up throughout SpongeBob, are seen enjoying Squidward's clarinet playing. Most people usually hate it, as you guys know, but the jellyfish love it, bro. I mean, at least in modern SpongeBob, back in the day they didn't. But yeah, as you've seen in the clip I just played from Upward, the jellyfish are seen enjoying Squidward's bad clarinet playing again, which is totally a reference. And here's another one, though it technically isn't really a reference, but it's still really cool and I have to mention it. So who remembers the character Squilliam Fancy Son? You know, Squidward's like arch nemesis, this guy?
Sounds as though you've got a dying animal to attend to, eh, old chum?
Squilliam Fancy Son?
Yeah, that guy. He's one of my favorite characters. I love Squilliam, and I really hope that Squidward gets his revenge on him one day. He did get a little revenge back in Band Geeks, you know, with the whole Bubble Bowl situation. Like, he did get the W there, but since then, he hasn't really gotten his comeuppance yet, so hopefully that happens soon. But anyways, the last time we seen him was in the episode Code Yellow. Like I said, this was 7 years ago, back in season 10. Well, the show's producers must have caught on to this because, look. No! And just saying, he actually appears again in the next season, season 16, so stay tuned as I'm gonna make a video on that in the future. I'm gonna move on to another new SpongeBob episode in a moment, but I've got a couple more little Easter eggs and facts for you guys from this one that are really cool. Throughout the episode, Squidward wears numerous different outfits, and all of them are different references to other celebrities and cultural icons. While angrily swatting away his sheet music, he resembles Andy Warhol. Here's a side-by-side right here. Or while shopping shopping for a golden clarinet, he resembles Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart from the 1984 film Amadeus. Another example is when he invites SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs to his debut concert, as he resembles composer Liberace, even wearing his signature King Neptune outfit. And in his last outfit, the one he wears while performing at the famed Bikini Bottom Opera House, he resembles the legendary Elton John, more specifically from his 1975 performance at the Dodger Stadium. And of course, here's another side-by-side. Really cool stuff, and now we can finally move on to another episode. Let's do it. Next up is the episode Unidentified Flailing Octopus, another season 15 episode. This episode starts like many other SpongeBob episodes, with SpongeBob and Patrick annoying Squidward. They see a commercial about aliens and decide to become alien hunters. And in the midst of this, they end up waking up Squidward with their flashlights. Like, imagine your neighbors waking you up just because they wanted to hunt for aliens. It's probably even more annoying for Squidward because he doesn't believe in aliens. But this is actually the episode's whole plot twist, as in the end, aliens are real and they end up targeting Squidward.
At last, evidence of our ancient aquatic ancestors.
We must take the artifact back to the ship.
I don't want to spoil the episode, I'll save that for you guys, but let's get into the Easter eggs or trivia when it comes to this episode. The first one is very interesting, but you have to be a Patrick Star Show fan to actually understand it. If we rewind back to the Patrick Star Show season 1 episode, To Dad and Back, we were first introduced to the character General Grouper, this dude right here.
We could use a man with that star's speed and agility in outer space. Send him up to astronaut training on the double.
Yes, sir, General Grouper, sir.
Now, what's really cool is that this character is actually exclusive to the Patrick Star Show. He was introduced and debuted in the Patrick Star Show, and he's never actually appeared in SpongeBob. But this all changed in the episode we're talking about today, Unidentified Flailing Octopus, as look, he appears right here, making for a really cool Easter egg. It's awesome to see a character that was exclusive to a spin-off show pop up in SpongeBob.
General, what are the chances that these photos and videos are just a hoax?
99.99999%.
This has actually been a bit of a trend. If we go back to season 13 in the episode Something Narwhal This Way Comes, two characters, Narline and Nobby, that were exclusive to Camp Coral and were introduced in Camp Coral, crossed over and finally made their first appearance in SpongeBob.
Narline Narwhal? I haven't seen you since we were kids!
So it's pretty cool. Do you guys want to see this more often? Do you guys want to see more the Patrick Star Show exclusive characters or more Camp Coral exclusive characters appear in regular SpongeBob? Let me know in the comments. Our next set of Easter eggs, or well, Easter egg, there's only one, can be found in the episode Biscuit Ballyho. In this one, Sandy's Science Scouts, these characters right here, try to raise money for a trip to Mars by selling these biscuit boxes around town. Well, Mr. Krabs, being a greedy crab, decides to get in on the action himself, stealing Sandy's idea.
Crusty Doodles. Blech. These are just stale Krabby Patty buns.
Yeah, Mr. Krabs sucks, and this whole thing leads to like a town-wide war with both troops fighting to get sales. It's a fun, wild episode that I definitely recommend, but we're not here for that, we're here for Easter eggs, and there's one I want to talk about. I'm gonna roll the clip and then I'll explain it after. Roll the footage.
All right, Science Scouts, listen up. This here business is serious as a rattlesnake bite. So let's make sure we don't mess it up. If we earn enough money, we can finally afford that trip to Mars!
This is a very obscure reference, but some of the writing that Sandy uses in her blackboard in the beginning of the episode are references to one of my favorite episodes, SpongeBob in Randomland. Particularly this K equals AZ equation and 1220, which is the exact production code for the episode SpongeBob in Randomland, which is how we know for sure that this is a reference. And let's keep it rolling. I've got another episode coming up after this with more Easter eggs. In season 14, we got a really cool episode, Creep Away Camp, which technically was a crossover episode with Camp Coral, where SpongeBob and the rest of the gang get stalked by this mysterious figure while they attend a Camp Coral reunion.
It seems different somehow.
Looks like they changed the name to Caca.
It's especially cool because this episode really puts Camp Coral into the normal, like regular SpongeBob canon. It isn't just a random show now and is directly referenced in SpongeBob, regular SpongeBob. But anyways, this episode has a ton of Easter eggs and a ton of trivia, so let's get right into it. So to kick things off, take a look at this opening shot, and there's like 4 Easter eggs in this one shot. And I'm gonna tell you guys, you might not catch them right away as they're Camp Coral references technically, but it's still cool, and this is all the same SpongeBob universe, so. But yeah, I'm gonna play the clip and then I'll explain. Like I said, 4 Easter eggs in one shot. For one, we have Moe's possessed intertube. This was originally in the Camp Coral episode Boo Light Special. Here's a side-by-side. Sandy's helmet from Helter Shelter. The Squidward-shaped rock from the episode In Search of Camp Nudist. And Patrick's shelter from the episode Squishery. Like I said, those were Camp Coral references, so you might not have caught them, but if you're a fan of OG SpongeBob, you'll definitely catch this next one. Let's take a look and I'll explain afterwards. Okay, so let's pause for a second and let's rewind back to the episode One Crab's Trash. This is an iconic episode, and in this episode we were introduced to these things, owl clams. Remember these things as they pop up again in Creep Away Camp, making their first reappearance in like over 20 years. These things only ever appeared in the episode One Crab's Trash, and as you can see, they appear here, devouring the invitations, making for a really cool reference. And here's another Easter egg. This one is really, really cool. So as you guys seen, Mr. Krabs has a pet worm, but this isn't the first time we've seen him. This right here is Mr. Doodles. We've seen him for the first time like 18 years ago in the episodes Sandy's Rocket. Here's his appearance in that episode, and in the episode As Seen on TV. Here's also a shot of that. But he appears for his first time in a long time in Creep Away Camp, and he's very, very cute. I want a pet worm. Would you guys get a pet worm if you could? Let me know in the comments. But back to Easter eggs, and the producers of this episode really went all out. There are a ton of Easter eggs, and a lot of them are really, really like interesting and kind of obscure. For example, in this scene right here where Pearl gets laughed at by these girls. These girls aren't just any random characters. I'm gonna play this clip and they might seem familiar.
Hi, girls!
Hi, Pearl.
Are you guys coming to my Totally Coral birthday party tomorrow?
I don't know, Pearl. Is this gonna be as totally coral as last year?
Yeah, well, if we rewind back to the episode Whale of a Birthday, which we just did with the clips I just showed you, those same girls that laugh at Pearl in Creep Away Camp are her same friends from A Whale of a Birthday, which is another episode that's nearly 20 years old. Like, who thought of this? What cool attention to detail. And there's more. Take a look at this scene where all of the different cast members go on this bus to go back to Camp Coral. There's something in the background that is a reference to one of my favorite classic SpongeBob episodes. Roll the clip.
Suppose that makes sense.
Wait for me, dudes!
Did you guys catch it? So this sign right here, which reads, "You are now leaving Bikini Bottom," is actually from the episode Rock Bottom, and it's the exact same sign, which is really cool. Rock Bottom isn't even in this episode. It's just an awesome reference to that episode. And I've got even more. Take a look at this scene, which takes place at a party. There's a certain group of fish here in the crowd, and they're a reference to an older episode. Who remembers the nudist colony of fish from In Search of Camp Nudist?
Actually, I'm only partially nude. I like to think of myself as a bridge.
It's even stranger than I imagined. Boy,
Fish sure look weird without clothes on, huh?
This is another Camp Coral reference, and this entire group of fish makes a cameo at the party right here. And here's a side-by-side. It's kind of cool seeing their 3D design and then seeing their 2D designs. Now, there's actually a bunch more in this episode, but I'm gonna save them for another video. But for now, let's head over to another episode, guys, with even more Easter eggs. You don't want to miss any of the Easter eggs I have coming up. As a lot of our longtime viewers know, Season 1's Pizza Delivery is one of my favorite, all-time favorite episodes, with it being all about SpongeBob and Squidward going on a little pizza delivery adventure and doing everything they can to get this box of pizza to its destination.
Krusty Krab pizza is the pizza absolutively.
Now, I don't know if the Krusty Krab still serves pizza to this day, but it is possible, considering that a Krusty Krab pizza box did pop up in a recent episode as an Easter egg. It's easy to miss, but in the episode Plankton Gets the Boot, a Krusty Krab pizza can be seen in SpongeBob's house, when he and Plankton are watching a movie in the living room.
Many unbearable hours later.
Oh my love, what a fool I've been.
Pretty cool. Now, you probably can notice there are a bunch of other Easter eggs in the shot, but I'm gonna leave you guys to find them, so leave a comment. What other Easter eggs are in this shot? Anyways though, we have seen many superheroes and supervillains throughout SpongeBob, mainly due to there being so many Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episodes. I love them. Some of my favorite episodes. A lot of them have stuck around. For example, the Dirty Bubble or Man Ray, but there have been a lot that have just disappeared. One often forgotten supervillain is the evil Jumbo Shrimp, who made his first appearance in Season 1's Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 2. Since his debut, he's made a few more appearances, but they've been far and few apart. That is, until the Season 11 episode, Squid Noir, as Jumbo Shrimp appears as a poster and an action figure in near mint comic books. It's pretty cool. So this next one could possibly be a coincidence, so let me know what your personal opinion is in the comments. We've heard Squidward jam out on his clarinet many times, and in the episode SquidBob Tentacle Plants, we hear him play a very specific tune.
Good morning, Squidward. And isn't it a lovely morning? Why are you playing the clarinet on your way to work?
Well, this song seems to be referenced 2 seasons later in the episode No Hat for Pat, as when Squidward plays the clarinet, he plays the exact same track he performed in SquidBob Tentacle Pants, thus making for a possible Easter egg. They might have just reused the same clarinet track, but it also could have been a reference. We don't know for sure. Now, I'm going to show more clips, but before I do, I just want to say thank you so much for watching today's video, guys. Seriously. If you're new, make sure to subscribe. Anyways, here's those clips.
That horrible noise! Let's get out of here!
Good morning, Squidward. And isn't it a lovely morning? Why are you playing the clarinet on your way to work?
Some of my favorite episodes of SpongeBob are the superhero-themed ones, where we get to see Mermaid Man, Barnacle Boy, and even some villains like the Dirty Bubble or Man Ray get into some action. Now in the Season 3 episode, Mermaid Man vs. Barnacle Boy 5, we were introduced to the Chief, the head of the International Justice League of Super Acquaintances. This guy pretty much sends Mermaid Man, Barnacle Boy, and the rest of the IJLSA on missions. And though his role was pretty important in earlier seasons, the character has not been seen very often since. Well, that all changed in the episode Swamp Mates, as not only does the Chief make his long-awaited return on the screen in the Mermalayer, but he also appears at the end of the episode as well. They even got the same original actor from Season 3, which is like 20 years ago, to reprise his role, thus making the Easter egg even more awesome.
Woohoo! This completes my collection!
We've seen plenty of board games in the SpongeBob universe, but one of my favorites is the Flying Dutchman's Treasure Hunt from the Season 1 episode, Arg. This game nearly drives Mr. Krabs insane, with him eventually taking things way too seriously and using the game's map for a treasure hunt. To be fair, Mr. Krabs' plan does actually work, and they eventually find the treasure by the end of the episode despite using a map from a board game. But this was the last we'd see of the board game for a little while. That was until the Season 6 episode, Toy Store of Doom, as at one point, SpongeBob takes the Flying Dutchman's treasure treasure hunt board game out of a chest and asks Patrick if he wants to play it, only for him to decline it like everything else SpongeBob suggests. Pretty cool.
Buried treasure board game?
Sheldon Plankton is quite the inventor, with the innocent yet evil little guy creating all sorts of gadgets, weapons, and robots. But there has been one invention of his that has popped up multiple times, and that's Robot Plankton. Making his first appearance in the second SpongeBob movie, the robot has appeared twice, with the most recent appearance being in the episode Plankton Retires. The design is pretty much identical, so I would personally say that this was an intentional Easter egg by the art team. So this next one can be found in the season 13 episode Uptown Girls, and is based around two characters first introduced in Camp Coral. These two are Ro and Rhea, Lady Upturn's two cabin roommates from, well, Camp Coral. Well, the episode Uptown Girls gives us a little update on what happened to both characters after Camp Coral via various posters in Lady Upturn's shop, with Ro becoming a clothing model based on this poster, and Rhea becoming the face of a perfume company based on this other poster. Our next Easter egg, or well, I guess Easter eggs, are hidden in the fairly recent season 13 episode Say Ah. Now there have been hundreds of incidentals introduced over the years. This can sometimes result in older ones being discontinued. But fortunately for us longtime fans, the episode Say Ah brings a total of 3 discontinued incidentals back for the first time in like 20 to 22 years. First up is Incidental 62, who makes their first appearance since the season 3 episode New Student Starfish. There is also Incidental 66, who was last seen in the season 1 episode Fools in April. Oh, and finally, Incidental 71, who hasn't been seen since season 2's Patty Hype. Pretty cool, so listen up, as this next Easter egg is a little complex. In SpongeBob, every episode has a production code, and sometimes these production codes will be hidden in episodes as Easter eggs. So, as you can imagine, this is exactly the case in the episode Food PBFFT Truck, as one of the signs at the Rock Bottom Mall reads SB138, which is actually a reference to the production code of the season 1 episode Rock Bottom, which makes sense because it's in the Rock Bottom Mall. So yeah, it's very subtle, but boy, is it cool to see such an iconic episode referenced in the modern day. Our next Easter egg can be found in another recent SpongeBob episode, Patrick the Mailman. This Easter egg is similar to the one found in Say Ah, as it has to do with a long-lost character, that being SpongeBob's jellyfishing idol, Kevin C. Cucumber. Kevin made his first appearance in the episode I'm Your Biggest Fanatic, but since then, we haven't really seen him for a while. Well, that is, until Patrick the Mailman, as this episode marks Kevin C. Cucumber's first major appearance since I'm Your Biggest Fanatic from season 2, thus making for a really cool callback. So in the world of SpongeBob, it seems that everyone wants a pet snail, with them pretty much serving as dogs or cats. Heck, even Squidward gets one at one point. Remember Snelly? Well, one snail that is often forgotten is Mrs. Puff's pet snail, Annette. She made her first appearance in the season 3 special, The Sponge Who Could Fly, but sadly has not been seen much since. Well, this all changed in the season 12 episode, My Two Crabses. During this scene, we can see that Mrs. Puff has a picture of Annette in her house, thus making for a neat little reference. I do wonder though, what happened to the snail? Like, does Mrs. Puff still have her? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Our next Easter egg can be found in the season 9 episode Bulletin Board, and I'm actually pretty proud of it. This is a cool one. In this episode, the Krusty Krab puts up a community bulletin board and lets customers use the board for feedback. Now, this episode is actually pretty good, but it's not the plot that matters. What actually matters is this Easter egg. In the classic episode, it's literally just titled there is a gag where Patrick, or well, Patar, his distant ancestor, puts salt on his hand and tries to eat it. It happens a couple times throughout the episode. Well, it seems this is referenced in Bulletin Board, as this exact same gag happens during this scene. You can see Patrick put his hand into his mouth, salt it, and put it back in. What a cool Easter egg. Our next Easter egg revolves around the season 1 episode, Muscle Bob Buff Pants. After getting roasted by Sandy for not being as strong or fit, SpongeBob resorts to some interesting methods to prove her wrong, and purchases a new product he sees on TV known as anchor arms. These things are pretty much gloves that can be inflated with air to look like muscles, and SpongeBob is sold pretty fast after seeing the commercial, with him ordering himself a pair so he can lie and flex on all of his friends. Well, this devious product is actually referenced in the season 11 episode Handemonium. Right at the beginning of the episode, we see the outside of Larry's gym, and if you look closely, there is graffiti that reads "Anchor arms are for wimps," thus making a direct reference to the classic season 1 episode. There's also another Easter egg here, but let me know in the comments if you spotted it. The episode One Course Meal is all about Plankton, with us learning that he has an extreme, and I mean extreme, fear of Pearl, due to her being a whale. This is actually really funny, as it's scientifically accurate due to whales being able to consume about 15 tons of plankton in one single day. Plankton's fear of Pearl was recently referenced in the episode The Ghost of Plankton. In this episode, the Flying Dutchman teaches Plankton how to be a ghost, and when he showcases his transformation skills, he turns into Pearl, and this scares the absolute heck out of Plankton. First up is Superstition, and this is a season 16 episode. In this one, Friday the 13th comes to Bikini Bottom. And as you guys know, Friday the 13th is the day where everybody is supposed to get bad luck. It's a superstition, and Mr. Krabs is terrified of this.
Oh, no! An indoor whistle brings luck's dismissal!
Yeah, Mr. Krabs needs to take a chill pill. Like, this guy is just, he's too much sometimes. Like, imagine Mr. Krabs being your boss. Not only do you have to deal with this type of nonsense, but also, this dude barely even pays SpongeBob, and as we've seen in previous episodes, SpongeBob barely gets any time off of work. This episode just came out, so I don't want to spoil it, so let's get right into the Easter egg. I'm gonna play the clip, and let's see if you guys can find it.
Ahoy, Mr. Krabs! Your morning cup of tea coming right up.
I imagine that a lot of you guys missed it, so let me explain, right? You know how it was going on before about Mr. Krabs being a lame boss? Well, if we rewind all the way back to the episode Stuck on the Roof, despite being a terrible boss over the years, we see that Mr. Krabs has this #1 boss mug right here. This thing right here, I'm highlighting it. But yeah, it's been quite some time since we've seen this mug. It only appeared in this episode Stuck on the Roof, which is a season 11 episode, so it's pretty old by now. However, the mug randomly appeared in the form of an Easter egg in this episode we're talking about, Superstition. Here's a side-by-side, and yeah, that's a really cool Easter egg. Also, it kind of shows you how long it's been since season 11. We used to refer to SpongeBob season 11 as modern SpongeBob, but it's 10 years old now. So if you really think about it, these episodes like Stuck on the Roof are starting to become quote-unquote classics, but yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the season 16 episode, Pardon My Wand, as this episode has a ton of Easter eggs, and they're all really interesting. But first, let me give you guys a little bit of context. That way the Easter eggs actually make sense. But yeah, in this one, SpongeBob gets this magic wand right here. And I mean, just think about it for a second. This is the same dude that when he became hall monitor at school, started walking around thinking he was a cop, causing car accidents. SpongeBob and having the ability of magic is kind of a bad mix. It's an entertaining mix, it makes for a really good episode, but you guys know that SpongeBob is about to cause freaking mayhem.
What if we just cure your hiccups instead? I'll get you some water.
Huh? That'll fix it.
Okay, now you guys know the premise of the episode, and we can get into the Easter eggs. And this first one is a really good one. You do have to be a SpongeBob nerd to get it. I'm gonna play the clip and let's see if you guys can spot the Easter egg, and then I'll come back in and I'll explain it. Okay, so who remembers the episode Hocus Pocus? This episode is like nearly 20 years old. It came out in 2007 in season 4. And in this episode, we were introduced to this place, the 1942 Wizard Street. And we were also introduced to Mr. Magic.
But what if I told you that you could change all that with the magic of magic?
Yeah, this guy right here. Now, we haven't seen Mr. Magic or that castle I was just talking about since Hocus Pocus, so it's been like nearly 18, 19 years. But randomly, somebody decided to include it in this new SpongeBob episode, Pardon My Wand, right here. But it's a little different now. It seems that it's been redesigned and rebranded as Mr. Magic's Magic Shop. Like, it actually has a name now, and it seems to be a magician's performance venue. Also, we don't see Mr. Magic in the episode, but he cameos on the sign right here. Here's a side-by-side, and yeah, really cool. I'm gonna move on to another one, but I really want to highlight this one's really random. Hocus Pocus isn't some iconic episode. It's a great episode, but it isn't like Eels and Escalators, the board game from Sailor Mouth. It isn't like that appearing in a newer episode. This one means that whoever wrote this episode went back and they did their research. However, this next Easter egg is a reference to like an iconic episode, Tea at the Tree Dome, which was Sandy's first ever appearance back in the day.
So, what's your name?
Sandy. So, what do y'all call yourself? I'm SpongeBob!
Canonically, they've completely changed this now, especially with Camp Coral, as Sandy literally appears in Camp Coral, despite being seen literally meeting SpongeBob for the first time in Tea at the Tree Dome. But anyways, I want you guys to remember this orange bird right here that appears in this bird bath in Tea at the Tree Dome, as it's probably going to help you spot this next Easter egg. Roll the clip.
We gotta handle this enchanted doohickey real delicate like.
Yeah, this cutie reappears in Pardon My Wand for the first time in a long time. But it's really cool to see this character that's really never appeared since Tea at the Tree Dome reappear in this episode. It's very clearly a deliberate reference, and I freaking love these. Next up, we have the episode Day of the Living Dad Jokes. And this is a The Patrick Star Show episode, but the Easter egg here is really important, as it somewhat impacts SpongeBob lore. Just saying that, like SpongeBob lore sounds crazy, but it is a thing. But as you guys know, about a year ago, the Sandy Cheeks movie released on Netflix, a 3D animated film that was all about Sandy Cheeks, obviously, but it also introduced a ton of new characters from her family. Now, I've mentioned this in a previous video, but something that the SpongeBob creators have been doing lately is they've been bringing the SpongeBob universe together. So for example, characters introduced in their spin-off projects, so characters introduced in like the Patrick Star Show, or the Sandy Cheeks movie, or the Plankton movie, etc., they've been appearing in regular SpongeBob. And that's what we're going to be talking about here, as this episode marks the first time that we've ever gotten to see her relative, Paw Cheeks, this guy right here, who before this we've only ever seen him 3D animated, but in this episode it's the first time we get to see the character in traditional SpongeBob animation. So yeah, a quick one, but it's really cool, and roll the clip.
Hey, Sandy, what does a bee use to comb his hair? Honeycomb!
Yo, just saying before we continue, guys, if you're having fun, please consider subscribing. I'm really trying hard to hit 5K subscribers, and as you can see, we're really close. So if you're having fun and you're enjoying these videos, please subscribe. I've got tons more coming. But anyways, I'm gonna shut up and let's talk about this next Easter egg. Our next Easter egg can be found in the episode Whelk Attack, and it's pretty cool as it references one of my favorite older SpongeBob episodes, Suds. In this episode, a herd of large sea whelks invade Bikini Bottom, causing all sorts of problems. Why are they invading, you may ask? Well, it turns out that the whelks are sick, as explained by Sandy near the end of the episode. Now, during this scene, SpongeBob compares the whelks' sickness to Suds, the same illness SpongeBob had to deal with all the way back in the season 1 episode titled, well, Suds.
I know just what to do. After all, I've had the suds. I just have to absorb the whelk snot, and they'll return to normal.
The episode SpongeBob's Last Stand is all about SpongeBob and Patrick protesting the demolition of their favorite Bikini Bottom location, Jellyfish Fields. Now, at one point, we see a parade celebrating the construction of the Shelly Superhighway. And if you're a true SpongeBob fan, you'll notice that the band of the parade is wearing the exact same outfits as Squidward's band in Band Geeks, thus making for another interesting little Easter egg. I love these season 1, 2, or 3 callbacks. They're the best. So who here is familiar with this character? This character is named Granny, and she along with Miss Grusselpuss are both pretty rare in terms of incidentals. They don't show up very often. Well, they make a slight cameo in the episode Grandma's Secret Recipe, as both Both characters appear while SpongeBob and Great Grandma are knitting. This isn't necessarily the most mind-blowing Easter egg or cameo, I'll admit, but hey, it's pretty cool. The next episode we'll be talking about today actually features 2 Easter eggs, so let's just skip the plot summary and get right to the good stuff. The first is a SpongeBob's Last Stand reference, with this Save the Jellyfish sign being shown in the pile of rubble. Another reference is this ukulele, as it's most likely a reference to the ukulele used by SpongeBob in the episode Fun, which is another reference to an older SpongeBob episode. I love those. In the episode Whatever Happened to SpongeBob, SpongeBob develops amnesia after running away from Bikini Bottom and eventually finds himself in New Kelp City. This place is very similar to New York, and believe it or not, SpongeBob actually becomes mayor of this place. However, due to him having amnesia and forgetting his name, he goes by a new name.
It will always be safe to blow bubbles on the streets of New Kelp, or my name isn't Jesus Brown Pants.
Well, this is actually referenced in the season 7 episode One Course Meal, when Plankton literally refers to SpongeBob as Cheesehead.
What you doing laying in the middle of the road?
Go away, Cheesehead! Can't you see I'm trying to get run over?
In the season 6 episode, Krabby Road, Plankton creates an entire band just to steal the Krabby Patty secret formula. Now, it's a good episode with some great moments. And if we watch closely during the episode's opening, we can spot an interesting season 3 Easter egg. In the episode No Weenies Allowed, SpongeBob struggles to get into a new bar called the Salty Spittoon due to it only accepting the toughest of the toughest fish. SpongeBob is forced to wait in line with some of these tough fish, but this isn't the last time we've seen them. In the opening of the season 6 episode Krabby Road, they make their return, thus making for a fun little season 3 reference. They're in jail now, so I wonder what they did. Our next Easter egg can be found in the episode Suction Cup Symphony. This episode is all about Squidward writing his very own symphony. Now, during this scene, just as Squidward finally finishes writing his song, he has the same look on his face that he had in the episode Squid's Day Off, during the scene where he locked himself inside his house. Oh, also, it isn't necessarily an Easter egg, I guess, but the fish playing the piano in this episode is actually the same fish that SpongeBob sits next to at Reef Cinema in the episode Something Smells. As most of you know, Squidward is an artist, so it's no surprise that one of his old paintings is referenced in Season 6. The painting in particular are his 483 self-portraits first seen in the episode Gone, and they appear when SpongeBob is having tea with Squidward in the episode Not Normal. Another reference can be found as SpongeBob and Patrick are belly sliding through town. As they go off a ramped truck, Oyster Stadium can be seen for the first time in a while as they are falling. Our next Easter egg can be found in the episode Boating Buddies. In this episode, instead of a typical SpongeBob boating school episode, is all about Squidward attending boating school after getting a ticket. As you can imagine, this was all SpongeBob's fault, of course. But luckily for him, SpongeBob decides to help out, eventually leading us to this scene where Squidward does his driving exam. For a few frames, the rare incidental character Granny appears, thus making her first appearance since her debut episode Have You Seen This Snail? Our next Easter egg can be found in the episode Potato Puff, but we need to go back for it to actually make any sense. Mrs. Puff, as always, is stressed out and defeated after yet another failed driving lesson with SpongeBob. So she decides to just give him a license anyways so that she doesn't have to deal with him anymore.
Mrs. Puff,
Thank you, SpongeBob. Congratulations. Have a nice life.
Now, when she gets home, if you look on the wall, there's a portrait of the exact frame on screen. This is known as a recursive image, and it's actually referenced in the opening of the season 13 episode Potato Puff. As look, there's a portrait of the exact frame going on in the episode on Mrs. Puff's wall yet again. Our next Easter egg can be found in the episode Squirrel Jelly, but it revolves around the season 1 episode Jellyfish Hunter. This episode is pretty messed up, with Mr. Krabs sending SpongeBob to collect jellyfish jelly so he can sell it as a condiment at the Krusty Krab. Mr. Krabs completely abuses the situation and creates a factory for the jellyfish. It's really sad. One of the characters we're introduced to in this episode is Friend, aka No Name, a larger jellyfish that SpongeBob has a bond with. Now, since Jellyfish Hunter, we haven't seen this character. However, in the episode Squirrel Jelly, near the end of the episode, Friend can be seen in the background, thus making for an awesome reference or callback to an iconic episode. So in the season 13 episode, There Will Be Grease, Plankton and Mr. Krabs are forced to work together after discovering a well of miracle grease under their restaurants. They both have their own intentions with the grease. Mr. Krabs wants to use it to improve the Krusty Krab menu, while one of Plankton's uses would be to use the grease as lube for killer robots. And if you're a true SpongeBob fan, you'll notice that the robot shown in the thought bubble is Plankton's tank robot, the exact same one that appeared in the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water. Talk about a cool callback. Our next Easter egg can be found in the episode Bottle Burglars, and it references the iconic Season 2 episode Frankendoodle. In this episode, SpongeBob and Squidward accidentally let Plankton slip away with the coveted Krabby Patty secret formula. So as you can imagine, the episode is primarily focused on the not-so-dynamic duo trying to retrieve it. Well, spoiler alert, they do, and the episode has a happy ending. But if we watch closely, when Squidward turns on the Krusty Krab security footage, a drawing of Doodle Bob can be seen on the bottom of the table, referencing both Frankendoodle and Doodle Dimension. In the Season 2 episode, Survival of the Idiots, SpongeBob and Patrick overhear a dream Sandy has about fighting two very popular Western criminals, Dirty Dan and Pinhead Larry, and eventually take on both personas as they play cowboys and bandits.
All right, Pinhead, your time is up.
Who you calling Pinhead?
Now this eventually results in both Pinhead Larry and Dirty Dan getting their butts absolutely handed to them, like they get their butts kicked and presumably killed, thus giving us these two gravestones with the names Pinhead Larry and Dirty Dan on them. Well, these gravestones are referenced in the episode Shopping List, as both can be seen during this scene, thus making for a heartwarming little Easter egg for all of the longtime fans like myself. So this next one is a bit of a deep cut, so get ready, as what the episode references is very subtle. I didn't even realize it at first. In the episode Ghost Host, the Flying Dutchman realizes that he's lost his scary mojo. So to try and sharpen his skills, he tries to scare both SpongeBob and Squidward. It doesn't go very well, but during one of his attempts to scare SpongeBob, he transforms into this big red bug thing. And honestly, since this episode, we haven't really seen it since, but it seems that this exact transformation is referenced in the episode Ink Lemonade, as during this scene, where Squidward first enters the creepy nursery, there is a picture of this exact same big red bug that the Flying Dutchman turned into on the wall, thus making for, like I said, a really deep cut in terms of Easter eggs. Like, the Flying Dutchman transforms 50 plus times in Ghost Host, so it's interesting that they chose this one to reference in particular. In the episode Squeaky Boots, Mr. Krabs begins to freak out when he can't escape the sound of, well, squeaking. This drives our favorite crab crazy and gives us this scene where Mr. Krabs turns blue and begins to hear and see the word squeak everywhere. He has a total meltdown.
Could the world's greatest fry cook do this? And this, 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 and this.
Well, this scene seems to be directly referenced in the episode Plankton Paranoia, with this scene. Instead of Mr. Krabs freaking out about hearing or seeing the word squeaks, he's tripping out over plankton. Something absolutely terrible happens in the Season 4 episode, All That Glitters. SpongeBob breaks his favorite spatula, and as you can imagine, this really ruins SpongeBob's day. Don't worry though, at the very end of the episode, we get this hilarious scene of SpongeBob being reunited with his old friend, and the episode ends with everything back to normal. Now the Easter egg in question can be found during this scene, and has to do with everyone's favorite incidental, Fred. If you're a true SpongeBob fan, you'll know that this isn't the first time we've seen Fred in this outfit, as it's actually a reference to the outfit he wears in the classic Season 3 episode, One Crab's Trash. The episode, 20,000 Patties Under the Sea, has an Easter egg in its title. For those who may not not know, the title is a reference to a Julie Verne novel, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. That's not the only Easter egg present in this episode, though. The con man from the episode Chocolate with Nuts is back again, and he cons SpongeBob and Patrick once more. Now, after he cons SpongeBob and Patrick, he says, "Hey, thanks again, guys." This means he remembers the characters from the last time he conned them. Another cool thing you may not have known about this episode is that Gene Simmons from the band Kiss plays the sea monster in the episode. Pretty cool. One of my favorite SpongeBob episodes is Season 3's Just One Bite. In this episode, Squidward tastes his very first Krabby Patty, and though he lies and claims to hate them at first, by the end of the episode, we find out the truth. SpongeBob reveals that there is a patty vault hidden in the Krusty Krab that contains hundreds of Krabby Patties, and in the ending scene, we see Squidward break into this place to get his fix. Now, aside from this episode, we haven't really seen the Patty Vault since. However, it does appear in the episode Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 6 in the form of an Easter egg. It's only on screen for a short amount of time, but it can be found during this scene. The next Easter egg on this list comes from the Season 5 episode, To Love a Patty. This episode focuses on SpongeBob falling in love with a Krabby Patty. SpongeBob is so in love with this Krabby Patty that he saves the burger from being eaten. But take a look at the person who is about to eat the Krabby Patty. Does he look familiar to you? Well, if you're a true SpongeBob veteran, he should. This is the same fish who briefly appears in the episodes Shanghai and Krabbyland. The next Easter egg on this list comes from the episode Picture Day. In this episode, SpongeBob is trying his best to look good for his boating school picture. However, things aren't really going in the poor guy's favor. At the end of the episode, we see the picture that ends up being taken, but you may be wondering why all the other pictures are, well, humans and not fish or SpongeBob characters. Well, that's because what you're looking at is actually the creator of SpongeBob, Stephen Hillenburg's yearbook, and Stephen Hillenburg's picture is replaced with SpongeBob's. Our next Easter egg can be found in the Season 13 episode, Upturned Girls. I know we've covered it a lot recently, but this Easter egg is really cool and new, but it is a little complicated, so pay attention. In the episode, Squeaky Boots, it's Pearl's birthday. So we learn about flipper slippers, new shoes that are a bit of a fad amongst teenagers, and seem to be especially popular with young girls. Pearl wanted these for her birthday, she doesn't get them, but all of her friends wear them, and we know that Pearl really likes these and really like shoes. Well, it seems that these shoes are referenced in the episode Upturned Girls, as when Pearl and Narlene enter the shoe area, there is a poster on the wall for what seems to be new, updated, or evolved versions of the shoes. I know this for sure because at one angle, we can see at the bottom that the shoes are by Flipper, and like I said, the shoes that they're referencing are called Flipper Slippers.
Don't forget my new Flipper Slippers, Daddy.
Definitely a really cool Easter egg here. Whoever wrote this episode, this is a really cool one. One of my favorite SpongeBob episodes is Season 1's Bubble Stand, where SpongeBob and Patrick do their best to introduce Squidward to blowing bubbles. Squidward really struggles at first, and boy is it hilarious to watch. But the episode's best moment, in my opinion, is when SpongeBob rotates his body to demonstrate and repeats the sentence, "Bring it around town." I mean, come on, if you're a longtime fan, then you know exactly what scene I'm talking about. It's iconic. Well, in the opening of the episode Mimic Madness, this iconic scene is referenced, thus making for a really cool Easter egg. SpongeBob does the exact same thing and even says, "Bring it around town."
Woo! You tell him, Mr. Krabs! Bring it around town! Yeah!
In the episode we were introduced to Patar, SpongeGar, and Squog, the prehistoric counterparts to SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward. These three are quite the trio, and we hadn't really seen them since Season 3. Well, that is, until the Season 5 episode, Atlantis SquarePantis. In this episode, SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward, and Mr. Krabs, and Sandy, journey to Atlantis, with Plankton secretly attending as well. And the episode turns into a bit of a musical, with everyone performing a song at one point. Now, if we pay attention during Squidward's song, we can find a few familiar characters, as SpongeGar, along with Patar and Squog, make a small little cameo. Pretty cool, huh? The character Lady Upturn was first introduced in the episode Krusty Catering, and has been quite the reoccurring character ever since, with her even being included in the SpongeBob spin-off Camp Coral, with a major role. Well, the episode Upturned Girls, an episode we already talked about today, gave Lady Upturn's character even more personality, with Lady Upturn getting her own luxury shop called Upturn's. If we watch closely during this scene, we can see that an extremely rare incidental makes their first appearance in nearly 20 years, that being the female collector, who made her last appearance in the season 3 episode One Krabs Trash, where she wants to buy the soda drinking hat for Mr. Krabs. Talk about a long lost character. Our next Easter egg can be found in the season 12 episode, The Nitwitting. There are actually a few found in this episode, so let's just get right into them. As SpongeBob mopily walks through this alley, there are a bunch of references to older episodes. My favorite of the bunch is this graffiti drawing of Doodlebob referencing the iconic season 2 episode Frankendoodle. More importantly though, is this graffiti reading Squidward Smells, as this is a reference to one of my personal favorite SpongeBob episodes, Sailor Mouth. There are a few other small references, but these two are definitely the best of the best. Leave a comment down below letting me know any that I missed. SpongeBob has encountered a ton of interesting pets throughout the show's 13 seasons, ranging from other pet snails to a pet worm to even a pet seahorse. Well, there's a little callback to this in the episode The Clam Whisperer, as when SpongeBob is seen following some clams, 3 classic pets can be seen drinking out of a river with straws. Larry the Snail from the season 2 episode Dumped, Rex the Worm, also from the same episode Dumped, and finally, Mystery the Seahorse from the episode My Pretty Seahorse. It's cool to see all of these pets show up all in one episode for one Easter egg. This next one also has to do with our favorite seahorse, Mystery. So let's skip the plot summary and get right into the Easter egg, as Mystery makes a really cool, and I mean really cool, cameo in the episode Gary and Spot, and can be seen during this dance party scene. Oh, also, the classic character, Pluffy Fluffy, from the episode A Pal for Gary, you might remember it turns into a monster, also makes an appearance in this episode. It can be seen in this cage during this scene, thus making for another nostalgic Easter egg. Our next Easter egg can be found in the episode The Ballad of Filthy Muck. This episode is all about Patrick going out of his way to become the most grossest and stinkiest person in all of Bikini Bottom. But more importantly, the episode also has a really cool Easter egg. If you look closely, during this scene, an ice cream sign at Glove World says glove flavor. And though this might seem like nothing, it's actually a reference to the candy glove flavor that SpongeBob literally ate in the iconic episode Rock Bottom at the location of the same name.
Ew, glove flavored.
So I guess this next one is less of an Easter egg and more of a theory. In the episode Food Con Castaways, SpongeBob and the gang find themselves lost in a random forest. Now throughout the episode, the forest isn't given an actual name, but a lot of people online speculate that this could be Kelp Forest, the same forest from the iconic season 3 episode Club SpongeBob. We don't know for sure, but if you need some more proof, it seems the title card for Food Con Castaways is taken from a background scene of Club SpongeBob. Another cool Easter egg can be found in the episode Biddy Sitting. Well, to be honest with you guys, the entire second half of the episode is essentially an Easter egg, as it features 2 classic characters. In the episode Chocolate with Nuts, SpongeBob goes door to door with Patrick, lying to people about their magic chocolate bars, and eventually come across this dynamic duo, Incidental 87, aka Mary, and her mother. Well, Mary has shown up a few times over the years since her debut, but her mother has been absent ever since Chocolate with Nuts, that is, until a few years ago, as she plays a major role in the episode Biddy Sitting, and it is a major nostalgia trip. SpongeBob Season 5 isn't a bad season, but it definitely isn't the best. However, there is one Season 5 episode that I actually really enjoyed, and that's The Donut of Shame. This episode is very short, I think it's only like 4 or 5 minutes, but it's sweet and features a hilarious plot where Patrick panics due to accidentally eating SpongeBob's donut after a late night of partying. Well, this episode is referenced in the Season 9 episode, The Executive Treatment. It happens very fast, but during this scene, Patrick begins to freak out about the donut before, well, being insulted by Squidward. This one you kind of have to hear it for it to really make sense, so I'm going to show a clip.
But I've never wanted anything so much in my whole life! Since this morning when I wanted a donut and I ate that donut, and it was great!
A lot of that donut is still on your face.
In the episode Mermaid Man vs. SpongeBob, the Krusty Krab introduces a new promotional item that collaborates with Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, known as the Krusty Kids Meal. This thing even comes with a Mermaid Man toy, so you know that the superhero duo's biggest fan, SpongeBob, got his hands on one. Well, we know for sure now after the episode Appointment TV, as in the episode's intro, SpongeBob has one of the Krusty Kids Meals on his shelf. Talk about a true collector. So I'll admit that this last one is a little bit iffy, but in the episode Just One Bite, we see SpongeBob throw on these spicy reading glasses as he pages through a dictionary. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this is a direct reference or not, but it seems that SpongeBob wears these exact same glasses in the episode Stanley S. SquarePants. I don't know for sure, but they're pretty much identical, like they are identical. Leave a comment though. Do you think they're the same glasses? And do you think that this is a direct Easter egg? Leave a comment. As most of you know, Squidward is an artist, so it's no surprise that one of his old paintings is referenced in Season 6. The painting in particular are his 483 self-portraits first seen in the episode Gone, and they appear when SpongeBob is having tea with Squidward in the episode Not Normal. Another reference can be found as SpongeBob and Patrick are belly sliding through town. As they go off a ramped truck, Oyster Stadium can be seen for the first time in a while as they are falling. Here's a clip of both references or Easter eggs with audio.
I never thought I'd hear myself say this, but please come in, SpongeBob.
Thank you. Tell me, what are you doing cooped up in here when the weather outside is so normal?
Well, today is dusting day, the day I dust my 483 self-portraits.
Wow, that's something you don't see in the average house. Squidward! Have you seen Gary? He's gone missing! Squidward? Not a sign of Squidward anywhere. Squidward? You up here?
What are those things?
Those are undesirables, honey.
We've seen plenty of board games in the SpongeBob universe, whether it's Sailor Mouths, Eels in Escalators, or Patrick the Game from Season 9. But one of my favorites is the Flying Dutchman's Treasure Hunt from the Season 1 episode, Arg. This game nearly drives Mr. Krabs insane, with him eventually taking things way too seriously, and using the game's map for a treasure hunt. To be fair, Mr. Krabs' plan does actually work, and they eventually find the treasure by the end of the episode, despite using a map from a board game. But this was the last we'd see of the board game for a little while. That was until the Season 6 episode, Toy Store of Doom, as at one point, SpongeBob takes the Flying Dutchman's Treasure Hunt board game out of a chest, and asks Patrick if he wants to play it, only for him to decline it like everything else SpongeBob suggests. Pretty cool, huh? Really cool. I love Easter eggs like this. Here's a clip.
Look, Patrick, 8 gold doubloons.
Wait, I saw it first! Yeah! Mine! Huh?
Boy, Mr. Krabs, you sure are sweaty.
What's this? Where are the doubloons?
It's a game! The Flying Dutchman's Treasure Hunt.
Looks like you've shanghaied me.
My turn. 5. One of your shipmates has been a bad pirate. Send him to the brig.
I guess we could play something. How about a yo?
No.
Yo. Buried treasure board game?
No.
The next episode we'll be talking about today actually features 2 Easter eggs, so let's just skip the plot summary and get right to the good stuff. The first is a SpongeBob's Last Stand reference, with this Save the Jellyfish sign being shown in the pile of rubble. Another reference is this ukulele, as it's most likely a reference to the ukulele used by SpongeBob in the episode Fun, which is another reference to an older SpongeBob episode. I love those. Here's a clip.
Chum bucket, sludge bucket, highway flyway. Lily liver, pizza giver, mashed potato, kelp tomato. All we are trying to say is give jellyfish fields a chance.
I can't take it much longer. I hope he's not in any pain, wherever he is.
I think he's doing just fine.
Mr. Krabs, you gotta get up. We gotta get out of here.
Oh. Okay, T-Boy, I think I'm good.
Remember to drink plenty of fluids.
Look, SpongeBob, you see all this stuff?
One of my favorite classic or iconic SpongeBob episodes is Season 3's Krusty Krab training video, an episode that parodies fast food training videos from the 90s and does a very good job at doing so. Now, as a kid, I absolutely loved this episode, so I was really happy when it got referenced in the episode Appointment TV. In this episode, a rare episode of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy is going to air on TV, and SpongeBob wants to record it. So at one point of the episode, we see him set up his VHS to record, and he looks at his tape collection to tape over a tape and record the show. And it seems that one of these tapes is the Krusty Krab training video, thus making for a really heartwarming and cool Easter egg. Here's a clip with audio.
All that's left is to set the VCR to record, so I can relive the magic over and over forever. But which tape to use? Don't have any blank ones left. Oh, here we go. Who needs a tape of their own birth anyway?
To keep up with today's demanding customers, no expense has been spared to acquire all the latest achievements in fast food technology.
This here is an advanced patty control mechanism. Here you can see our automated money handling system. Don't touch.
The character, Flats the Flounder, made multiple appearances in early seasons of SpongeBob. For example, Sandy's Rocket, Texas, but most notably The Bully, where he plays a major role, where he pretty much wants to kick SpongeBob's butt throughout the entire episode, just for sitting beside him and saying, "Hey, poor SpongeBob." Now, since The Bully, he hasn't had very many appearances. He has appeared a few times, but it has been fairly limited. That was until the episode Don't Feed the Clowns, as he's actually a customer of the bakery who gets knocked out by getting hit with a pie thrown by Incidental C1. Talk about a cool reference. It's nice to see Flats the Flounder back in action again, especially in a more recent episode.
Flats is from a town where kicking someone's butt means that he wants to be your friend. And maybe play some sports with you on weekends.
I got diarrhea.
In the Season 6 episode, The Krabby Chronicle, we get a cameo from a longtime fan favorite character that had been absent for some time. Now, back in Season 3, we got the iconic episode, Nasty Patty, an episode all about Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob nearly killing an innocent health inspector. Now, this health inspector is named Health Inspector Yellowtail Andy, and after missing for a few seasons, he made his much welcomed return in the episode The Krabby Chronicle. During this scene where he closes down the chum bucket after seeing an ad in the newspaper revealing that the food is legitimately made with chum. Ew. He even puts a giant out of business sticker on the chum bucket to really push the point. Fun fact, this episode is also where the health inspector's last name was first revealed to be Yellowtail. Pretty cool, huh? Oh, and also just saying, the character has made other appearances since the Krabby Chronicle, but this episode was his first reappearance in years. Here's a clip of the Easter egg with audio.
Hey, this guy's not a zombie. He's just an ordinary health inspector.
Yes, and at the risk of being hit again, I'd like to present you with this.
Hey, Mr. Krabs, look! We passed the inspection!
Come on, everybody! Krabby Patties and half price! Well, not really.
Oh boy, I'd like a Krabby Patty.
The chum stick that's finally gonna drive crabs out of business!
I think not. I'm Health Inspector Yellowtail. I'm officially closing down your restaurant. That's not what this says.
Plankton's chum made of your chums? The chum bucket serves your friends in more ways than one? What? Who's to blame for this? Who?
Another classic SpongeBob episode that I loved as a kid was Season 2's Sandy, SpongeBob, and the Worm. This episode was pretty darn epic, with SpongeBob and Sandy teaming up and going on an adventure to find the Alaskan bullworm that has been terrorizing Bikini Bottom. Now in the end, they succeed and manage to lunge the thing off of a cliff, and for a while, it seemed like this would be the last we'd see of the Alaskan bullworm. That is, until the episode My Leg, as during the montage where SpongeBob is trying to purposefully damage Fred's leg, Fred sprinkles salt over his leg, then SpongeBob rings a bell and the Alaskan bullworm slithers over to Fred. Pretty cool, huh? Here's a clip. Now I don't know if it's just me, but it seems that Nickelodeon really turned up the Easter eggs in Season 12, as there are so many. One episode that comes to mind is Lighthouse Louie. In this episode, SpongeBob finds himself stuck cleaning Mrs. Puff's boating school lighthouse, which is full of a bunch of junk seen over the years throughout the show's history. Now during this scene, where SpongeBob falls into a pile of trash, we get a close-up look at one of these pieces of junk. I'm talking about this familiar-looking pizza box that I'm sure all of you recognize. That's right, this is yet another reference to one of my all-time favorite SpongeBob episodes, Season 1's Pizza Delivery. You know, I've always wondered if the Krusty Krab is still serving pizza, and hey, this pretty much confirms it. Here's a question though. Which toppings would you get on your Krusty Krab pizza? Let me know in the comments. Anyways though, here's a clip of the Easter egg.
That box is haunted! Fine, these stairs are haunted! This trash is haunted!
Krusty Krab, yeah, pizza is the pizza, yeah, for you and me.
In the episode, Krusty Catering, we're introduced to a new business scheme by Mr. Krabs, a catering service where SpongeBob, Squidward, and even Patrick cater food at parties and look after kids. Now at the ending of this episode, it's presumed that Mr. Krabs has ended the services and goes back to just running the Krusty Krab. However, it seems the business is still going, including the truck, as in the episode Plankton Retires, there's a scene where Mr. Krabs claims he's off to go and make a delivery, and a patty falls out of the Krusty Catering truck, not only giving us a really cool Easter egg, but also confirmation that the business is still operating, even in Season 12, so yeah, really cool.
I cannot believe I let you talk me into this.
I'm off to make a delivery.
That fool.
In the iconic Season 2 episode Sailor Mouth, SpongeBob and Patrick learn some new, spicy, sentence-enhancing swear words from a dumpster outside of the Krusty Krab. And though they're told by Mr. Krabs not to use these bad words, which none of you should use either by the way, they eventually ignore the old man and get themselves into some trouble. Well, Patrick gets SpongeBob into trouble when he goes to snitch on him. Before all of this happens though, we're given this iconic scene, like this scene is iconic, where SpongeBob and Patrick play a board game called Eels and Escalators, a parody of the classic game Snakes and Ladders, and it makes for a really funny scene. Well, 10 seasons later, in the episode Bubble Bass's Tab, I think it's a Season 12 episode, this board game, Eels and Escalators, is referenced, with it appearing on SpongeBob's internal shelf of games. As you guys know, I'm a major fan of the Steven Hillenburg era of SpongeBob, so I loved this little nod.
Now, let's play a nice wholesome game of eels and escalators.
Oh boy, my favorite!
Come on, Gary needs a new pair of shoes.
Ooh, eels. Too bad, SpongeBob, you gotta ride the eel.
Darn.
My turn! Hooray! Escalators! Up, up, up!
You'll have to play the 3 deadly challenges.
Oh, the 3 deadly challenges! I got this game! Where is it? Game of Strife, Shoots and Bladders. Oh, here it is! The 3 deadly challenges!
Board game. Whoopee.
Okay, and last but not least, our final Easter egg, or secret, can be found in the episode Patrick's Alley, which I will admit is a bit of a cheat since it's from the Patrick Star Show and not SpongeBob, but who cares? It's still really cool. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of SpongeBob incidental characters, so I was pleasantly surprised when I seen Incidental 98 pop up in Patrick's Alley. This extremely rare incidental is known for his blue shirt with a heart on it, and he hasn't made an appearance since season 2. There aren't a whole lot of images of him, but this was definitely a really neat return of a highly requested incidental. Everyone wanted to see this guy back, so it's really cool.
Patrick!
Too old. Throw it back.
Okay, so listen up, as this next Easter egg is a little complex. In SpongeBob, every episode has a production code, and sometimes these production codes will be hidden in episodes as Easter eggs. So, as you can imagine, this is exactly the case in the episode Food PBFFT Truck, as one of the signs at the Rock Bottom Mall reads SB138, which is actually a reference to the production code of the season 1 episode Rock Bottom, which makes sense because it's in the Rock Bottom Mall. So yeah, it's very subtle, but boy, is it cool to see such an iconic episode referenced in the modern day. Here's a clip.
Maybe the Rock Bottom Mall? Where is everybody? The circus should be good for crowds.
Maybe it's a flea circus.
Yeah, it's still warm.
SpongeBob has many villains, for example the often misunderstood Plankton. But the best villains are the supervillains, seen in the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episodes, for example the Dirty Bubble. But one that is usually forgotten is Jumbo Shrimp. Well, in the Patrick Star Show episode X Marks the Pot, he makes a small cameo, with him being seen all beaten up in a mugshot. Now, by the way, I will say, this section was actually written before Captain Pipsqueak came out, so I know that he has a major role in that episode, but before that episode, this was one of his biggest cameos. So yeah, an Easter egg. Here's a clip.
I want to take your picture. Would you care to peruse my portfolio?
Oh, I'd love to. Would you look at that? Isn't it cute? Oh my, so artistic, girl. Oh, you simply must take a portrait of my whole family.
Our next Easter egg can be found in the season 13 episode Upturned Girls, an episode we've admittedly talked about a lot recently, but only because the episode is full of spicy Easter eggs. Now, the Easter egg in question has to do with this obscure SpongeBob villain, the Atomic Flounder. This supervillain was formerly an enemy of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, and made his first appearance in the season 1 episode Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 2, as an old retired version of himself that gets attacked by SpongeBob. Now, since season 1, the character has barely been seen, let alone mentioned. That is, until the episode Upturn Girls, as when Pearl and Narlene first arrive at Upturns, the exact same old retired version of the Atomic Flounder makes his first appearance in 20 plus years, making for a really cool little reference. Here's a clip.
And Barnacle Boy laid an egg. Hey!
That fellow over there used to be the Atomic Flounder. He could go back to crime, just like that.
Help! Help! Help somebody there!
You're under arrest, Atomic Flounder.
Stop, kid! Stop!
This is my favorite department store and like the heart of the big city.
Our first Easter egg can be found in the season 13 episode Upturn Girls. I know we've covered it a lot recently, but this Easter egg is really cool and new. But it is a little complicated, so pay attention. In the episode Squeaky Boots, it's Pearl's birthday. So we learn about flipper slippers, new shoes that are a bit of a fad amongst teenagers, and seem to be especially popular with young girls. Pearl wanted these for her birthday, she doesn't get them, but all of her friends wear them, and we know that Pearl really likes these and really likes shoes. Well, it seems that these shoes are referenced in the episode Upturn Girls, as when Pearl and Narlene enter the shoe area, there is a poster on the wall for what seems to be new, updated, or evolved versions of the shoes. I know this for sure because at one angle, we can see at the bottom that the shoes are by Flipper, and like I said, the shoes that they're referencing are called flipper slippers. So, definitely a really cool Easter egg here. Whoever wrote this episode, this is a really cool one. Here's a clip.
What is it, Daddy? It wouldn't be those totally hip new flipper slippers all my friends are wearing, would it? Everyone wants them.
It might be.
Don't forget my new flipper slippers, Daddy.
Darling, I won't.
Attention Upturns shoppers. There's a sale in the shoe department. 10th floor.
No way, so many shoes!
Huh?
The character Lady Upturn was first introduced in the episode Krusty Catering, and has been quite the reoccurring character ever since, with her even being included in the SpongeBob spin-off Camp Coral, with a major role. Well, the episode Upturn Girls, an episode we already talked about today, gave Lady Upturn's character even more personality, with Lady Upturn getting her own luxury shop called Upturns. And this is where we can find our last Easter egg, as if we watch closely during this scene, we can see that an extremely rare incidental makes their first appearance in nearly 20 years, that being the female collector, who made her last appearance in the Season 3 episode One Krabs Trash, where she wants to buy the soda drinking hat for Mr. Krabs. Talk about a long-lost character.
I'm prepared to give you $500 for that drink hat.
Not so fast, I'll give you $1,000 for such a hat.
Okay, so this next one is a bit of a deep cut, so get ready, as what the episode references is very subtle. I didn't even realize it at first. In the episode Ghost Host, the Flying Dutchman realizes that he's lost his scary mojo. So to try and sharpen his skills, he tries to scare both SpongeBob and Squidward. It doesn't go very well, but during one of his attempts to scare SpongeBob, he transforms into this big red bug thing. And honestly, since this episode, we haven't really seen it since, but it seems that this exact transformation is referenced in the episode Ink Lemonade, as during this scene, where Squidward first enters the creepy nursery, there is a picture of this exact same big red bug that the Flying Dutchman turned into on the wall, thus making for, like I said, a really deep cut in terms of Easter eggs. Like, the Flying Dutchman transforms 50 plus times in Ghost Host, so it's interesting that they chose this one to reference in particular. But anyways, here's a clip with audio.
fun! Creepy nursery rhyme music!
The episode, 20,000 Patties Under the Sea, has an Easter egg in its title. For those who may not know, the title is a reference to a Julie Verne novel, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. That's not the only Easter egg present in this episode, though. The con man from the episode Chocolate with Nuts is back again, and he cons SpongeBob and Patrick once more. Now after he cons SpongeBob and Patrick, he says, "Hey, thanks again guys." This means he remembers the characters from the last time he conned them. Another cool thing you may not have known about this episode is that Gene Simmons from the band Kiss plays the sea monster in the episode. Pretty cool.
Are you sure you don't want to be our first customer, sir?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Wait! We'll pay you.
Hey, thanks again, guys. Good luck with the restaurant.
Thank you, sir. Come again.
It's specially designed to cradle each candy bar in velvet-lined comfort. I'm wasting my time. You don't need these bags.
We need them! We need them!
So long, boys. Happy hunting. Suckers.
Back in the season 3 episode, Wet Painters, SpongeBob and Patrick are roped into painting and cleaning good old Mr. Krabs' house. However, there's one important condition. They can absolutely not get any paint or dirt on Mr. Krabs' most prized item, his very first ever dollar. Well, plot twist, they do end up getting some paint on it. And from here, the episode focuses on this dilemma, with SpongeBob and Patrick panicking to get the dollar clean. Now since then, Mr. Krabs' first dollar has made a few cameos, but my favorite is in the episode Whale Watching. It happens fast, but as you can see right here, the dollar is one of the many things destroyed by Pearl's explosive crime. Very, very cool. Here's a clip of the Easter egg with audio.
We're dead, Patrick. Do you know what that is?
It's $1! I win!
That's not just $1. It's Mr. Krabs' first dollar, his most prized possession, and we got paid on it.
I want to go to the party!
Oh, shrimp.
Many of our longtime viewers know one of my top 3 favorite SpongeBob episodes is Season 1's Pizza Delivery. In this episode, Mr. Krabs gets a call for a late-night pizza delivery order, and despite the Krusty Krab literally being a burger restaurant and not a pizza place, Mr. Krabs still takes the order and turns some Krabby Patties into a pizza. Now, considering how iconic this episode is, I was not surprised when I caught this little Easter egg in the Season 12 special, SpongeBob's Birthday Blowout, as during the live action scene where Plankton's voiceover artist is thrown out of the trusty slab, a Krusty Krab pizza box can be seen in the pile of garbage. That's pretty cool. I love classic references that reference the Steven Hillenburg era of SpongeBob. It was the best time. Here's a clip.
Mr. Krabs, we don't serve pizza. We don't deliver. We don't deliver, but you do.
Sorry, Potty, you'll have to hold it. Come on.
Easy for you to say, right?
Oh, excuse me, sir. Pardon me.
Oh, that was delicious. I love surface food.
And last, but certainly not least, our final Easter egg can be found in the episode SpongeBob's Last Stand. But for it to actually make sense, we have to go back to the episode Chum Bucket Supreme. In this episode, Plankton hires on Patrick as an advertising director. I don't know why he picked Patrick, but he hires him on to do the advertising for the Chum Bucket. And Patrick comes up with this slogan, Chum is Fum, as a way to give the Chum Bucket some identity, I guess. Well, this is directly referenced a few seasons later in the episode SpongeBob's Last Stand, as the Chum Bucket slogan, "Chum is fun," is seen on a billboard. Again, another really cool Easter egg.
Jellyfish fields of chance. Plankton's eye, ham on rye, Larry's thigh, battle cry.
You're supposed to be coming up with witty catchphrases to keep that rabble out there happy. Chum is fum. We've kind of got that one already.
Oh, I like that one!
Oh well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
We have seen many superheroes and supervillains throughout SpongeBob, mainly due to there being so many Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episodes. I love them, some of my favorite episodes. A lot of them have stuck around, for example the Dirty Bubble or Man Ray, but there have been a lot that have just disappeared. One often forgotten supervillain is the evil Jumbo Shrimp, who made his first appearance in Season 1's Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 2. Since his debut, he's made a few more appearances, but they've been far and few apart. That is, until the Season 11 episode, Squid Noir, as Jumbo Shrimp appears as a poster and an action figure in near mint comic books. And the suburban dad figurine throws the action figure at Mermaid Man's action figure during their fight. It's pretty cool. Here's a clip with audio.
Fighting a rogue's gallery of villains, like the Sinister Slug, the Atomic Flounder, and the dreaded Jumbo Shrimp.
I'm so glad you could make it.
I wouldn't miss this for the world, Dirty.
The most powerful of all crustaceans. It's Jumbo Shrimp.
Our next mistake can be found in the episode Suction Cup Symphony. This episode is all about Squidward writing his very own symphony. Now during this scene, just as Squidward finally finishes writing his song, he has the same look on his face that he had in the episode Squid's Day Off, during the scene where he locked himself inside his house. Oh, also, it isn't necessarily an Easter egg, I guess, but the fish playing the piano in this episode is actually the same fish that SpongeBob sits next to at Reef Cinema in the episode Something Smells.
I did it. Mwah! Yes! There. Now I'll have to stay here and enjoy myself. I'm not even gonna think about you-know-who at the you-know-what doing I don't care.
Hi. I am very ugly, but you should enjoy the movie anyway.
Some of my favorite episodes of SpongeBob are the superhero-themed ones, where we get to see Mermaid Man, Barnacle Boy, and even some villains like the Dirty Bubble or Man Ray get into some action. Now in the Season 3 episode, Mermaid Man vs. Barnacle Boy 5, we were introduced to the Chief, the head of the International Justice League of Super Acquaintances. This guy pretty much sends Mermaid Man, Barnacle Boy, and the rest of the IJLSA on missions. And though his role was pretty important in earlier seasons, the character has not been seen very often since. Well, that all changed in the episode Swamp Mates, as not only does the Chief make his long-awaited return on the screen in the Mermalayer, but he also appears at the end of the episode as well. They even got the same original actor from Season 3, which is like 20 years ago, to reprise his role, thus making the Easter egg even more awesome. Here are a bunch of clips.
Super acquaintances, we need your help.
Holy halibut, it's the Chief.
Thank you for the introduction, Quickster, but we all know who I am. More to the point, we've got news on the whereabouts of evil. Our sources last saw Evil harassing teenagers up at Makeout Reef. You know, Makeout Reef?
Flop and flounder, Mermaid Man. Make out reef.
Those fiends!
Heroes! It's the Chief! Wonderwell isn't late. She's been kidnapped by the nefarious ne'er-do-well, Hoodoo Guru, the Voodoo Villain!
Woohoo! This completes my collection!
So I will admit, this last one could be a coincidence, so let me know what you think personally in the comments. But yeah, I'm like 90% sure this is an Easter egg, but let's get into it. In the episode, The Inside Job, there is a scene where SpongeBob uses dish cleaning items to make a Krabby Patty. And in response, Plankton asks if soap is the special sauce. Well, this exact interaction seems to be referenced in the season 12 episode Cookie Cooks, as at one point, SpongeBob adds soap to some salads, while saying that he can't forget the special sauce. Again, this one could be a coincidence, but it does seem like an Easter egg if you ask me.
Oh, no, where are those patties? Oh, no, nuh-uh. No, there you are, Patty. Add one fluffy bun, like so, and a squirt of special sauce.
Special sauce. Wait, soap is their special sauce?
How's this? Oops! Can't forget the salad dressing.
So who here is familiar with this character? This character is named Granny, and she along with Miss Grusselpuss are both pretty rare in terms of incidentals. They don't show up very often. Well, they make a slight cameo in the episode Grandma's Secret Recipe, as both characters appear while SpongeBob and Great Grandma are knitting. This isn't necessarily the most mind-blowing Easter egg or cameo, I'll admit, but hey, it's pretty cool.
What I meant to say was, more please.
Knitting circles sure are fun, eh, Grammy Ma?
Nope.
Why are you not having fun?
Why? Because I don't knit, you nitwit!
Are you sure? 'Cause you make a real nice scarf.
In the episode Nasty Patty, another classic SpongeBob episode, this episode is a banger, SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs are confronted by a health inspector who wants to try everything on the menu to see if everything is up to the health code. This guy's name is Health Inspector Yellowtail Andy, and to be honest, we haven't seen him much since this episode. He has appeared a few other times, but he's usually a different color, but recently in the episode A Place for Pets in season 13, he made a big return, and he looks how he used to look, the way he looks in Nasty Patty. This was a really cool reference, and it's awesome to see such an iconic character return to the show, even though it was a fairly minor cameo. But anyways, here's a clip of both appearances with audio.
Try the crunchy kelp dog, sir.
The buttered barnacles are a touch of heaven.
The powdered driftwood is exquisite.
Fresh sludge pudding.
More diet red top.
Some fried
Please, gentlemen!
Oh no! The health inspector!
Oh yes, the health inspector. And I'm afraid you can't run a restaurant and a feedlot out of the same building. It's unsanitary.
One of my favorite SpongeBob characters of all time is Man Ray, one of the many supervillains that Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy have had to deal with over the years. Now back in the episode Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 3, there is a scene in the Mermalair where we're introduced to Man Ray's Power Glove, a weapon of his that was stolen by his superhero foes. However, he steals it back. Now, though this item might feel insignificant, it was actually referenced a few seasons later in the episode Back to the Past, as Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy show SpongeBob and Patrick Man Ray's Power Glove, which is locked in the Locker of Memories. They then reconfirm that it was once owned by Man Ray, but after freezing him in tartar sauce, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy took it, which is also a reference, as this explains why Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy had it in Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 3. A really cool Easter egg. I really like this one. Here's a clip.
We're not supposed to touch that stuff. We're not supposed to touch that either. We are really not supposed to touch those, sir. Good people have no use for weapons such as... Oh, the magic claw from episode 1582. Man Ray's power glove.
Back in the classic episode, Chocolate with Nuts, SpongeBob and Patrick struggle with their newly founded door-to-door chocolate bar business. That is, until they come across this Barnacle Chips billboard, which inspires them to be a little more business savvy. Well, it actually inspires them to start lying to people, but yeah. Well, as crazy as it sounds, this billboard has popped up quite a few times over the years as an Easter egg, with its most recent appearance being in the episode Teacher's Pests. Don't get me wrong, this is totally a really cool Easter egg, but I do find it funny that it's just a simple billboard. Nonetheless, I love classic references like these, so I hope to see it again in the future.
There must be something to this selling game that we're just not getting. Other people do it, I mean, look at that!
Eat barnacle chips, they're delicious.
They are most certainly not delicious, yet they sell millions of bags a day.
Well, maybe if they didn't stretch the truth, they wouldn't sell as many.
That's it, Patrick!
Our Easter egg can be found in the episode Gary and Spot, and it references a classic episode from season 2, that being the episode Dumped. In this episode, SpongeBob gets his little heart broken when his pet snail, Gary, wants to spend more time with Patrick than himself. So, to try and make little Gary jealous, SpongeBob gets a new pet snail named Larry, who is not only a lot uglier, but a lot meaner too. Like, this snail just sucks. At one point, SpongeBob lets him sleep in his own bed, and he just ruins his bed. Now, since the episode Dumped, Larry has pretty much disappeared from the series, but he did pop up recently in the form of an Easter egg, as when Gary frees all of the creatures from the animal shelter in the episode Gary and Spot, Larry is one of them, thus making for a fun little callback to the show's second season, one of my favorite seasons. Here's a clip with audio.
Come on, let me show you around. Larry, I present to you dinner time. Ta-da! Bon appetit, Larry. That's where I...
Our next Easter egg, or well, I guess Easter eggs, are hidden in the fairly recent season 13 episode, Say Ah. Now, there have been hundreds of incidentals introduced over the years, and this can sometimes result in older ones being discontinued. But fortunately for us longtime fans, the episode Say Ah brings a total of 3 discontinued incidentals back for the first time in like 20 to 22 years. First up is Incidental 62, who makes their first appearance since the Season 3 episode, New Student Starfish. There is also Incidental 66, who was last seen in the Season 1 episode, Fools in April. Oh, and finally, Incidental 71, who hasn't been seen since Season 2's Patty Hype. Pretty cool, huh? Here's a clip.
It is after class!
Fight! 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 I don't see anyone fighting, do you?
April Fools, you little sausage! Pretty Patties is now under new management! Who's next?
Okay, so I know we already talked about this episode today, but let's head back over to Captain Pipsqueak for a second. Now, when we first mentioned this episode, I went over all of its cool references to past episodes, but I did leave one out, and this is due to it not being from a SpongeBob episode, but from a SpongeBob video game. And that's this blue little dude known as Prawn. Prawn made his first appearance in the SpongeBob video game, SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. Really good game that I'm actually going to be streaming on the channel soon. But yeah, it's really cool to see Prawn make his way over to the actual TV show. I wonder though, does this mean that SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom is now canon? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm curious.
Prawn! Did someone call? Oh, I thought maybe I was looking at superheroes. But now I see it's just a couple of pieces of gnarled driftwood.
Prawn! I'll never forgive you, you madman!
What did Prawn do?
The worst thing you can imagine. He put all of Mermaid Man's white clothes in the washer with a red sock.
Everything I own turned pink! Pink!
What is this?
One of my favorite SpongeBob episodes is Season 1's Bubble Stand, where SpongeBob and Patrick do their best to introduce Squidward to blowing bubbles. Squidward really struggles at first, and boy is it hilarious to watch. But the episode's best moment, in my opinion, is when SpongeBob rotates his body to demonstrate and repeats the sentence, "Bring it around town." I mean, come on, if you're a longtime fan, then you know exactly what scene I'm talking about. It's iconic. Well, in the opening of the episode Mimic Madness, this iconic scene is referenced, thus making for a really cool Easter egg. SpongeBob does the exact same thing and even says, "Bring it around town." So yeah, really cool Easter egg. Here's a clip.
Stop on your right foot, don't forget it! Now it's time to bring it around town. Bring it around town. Then you do this.
Our first Easter egg can be found in the episode Bottle Burglars, and it references the iconic Season 2 episode Frankendoodle. In this episode, SpongeBob and Squidward accidentally let Plankton slip away with the coveted Krabby Patty secret formula. So, as you can imagine, the episode is primarily focused on the not-so-dynamic duo trying to retrieve it. Well, spoiler alert, they do, and the episode has a happy ending. But if we watch closely when Squidward turns on the Krusty Krab security footage, a drawing of Doodlebob can be seen on the bottom of the table, referencing both Frankendoodle and Doodle Dimension. I have always loved Doodlebob, so this Easter egg is awesome. Here's a clip with audio.
And when Squidward answers the door, it won't be me! Aw, look at him. Ain't he a doll? All he needs is a tie. Ready for action!
Quack! 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 Come on. Now let's see if the security cameras picked anything up.
Hi, I'd like to order half a Krabby Patty, please.
Now our last Easter egg is a bit of a reach, I'll be honest, but hear me out, okay? In the episode Squeaky Boots, Mr. Krabs begins to freak out when he can't escape the sound of, well, squeaking. This drives our favorite crab crazy and gives us this scene where Mr. Krabs turns blue and begins to hear and see the word squeak everywhere. He has a total meltdown. Well, this scene seems to be directly referenced in the episode Plankton's Paranoia, with this scene even using the exact same music, just this time, instead of Mr. Krabs freaking out about hearing or seeing the word squeaks, he's tripping out over Plankton. Again, a bit of a reach with this one, but it uses the same music. Our first Easter egg can be found in the episode Whelk Attack, and it's pretty cool, as it references one of my favorite older SpongeBob episodes, Suds. In this episode, a herd of large sea whelks invade Bikini Bottom, causing all sorts of problems. Why are they invading, you may ask? Well, it turns out that the whelks are sick, as explained by Sandy near the end of the episode. Now, during this scene, SpongeBob compares the whelks' sickness to Suds, the same illness SpongeBob had to deal with all the way back in the Season 1 episode titled, well, Suds. This is a really cool Easter egg. Here's a clip.
Well, golly! No wonder they're all grumpy. Them whelks are full of germs. Why, they're sicker than a bull with the squirrel pox.
I know just what to do. After all, I've had the suds. I just have to absorb the whelk snot, and they'll return to normal.
What's wrong with you? You're paler than a baby seahorse. The suds?
Here's that patty you wanted, Mr. Krabs, sir.
All right, SpongeBob, you're too sick to work.
No, Mr. Krabs, I'm okay. Honest.
One of my favorite SpongeBob episodes is Season 3's Just One Bite. In this episode, Squidward tastes his very first Krabby Patty, and though he lies and claims to hate them at first, by the end of the episode, we find out the truth. SpongeBob reveals that there is a patty vault hidden in the Krusty Krab that contains hundreds of Krabby Patties. And in the ending scene, we see Squidward break into this place to get his fix. Now, aside from this episode, we haven't really seen the Patty Vault since. However, it does appear in the episode Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 6 in the form of an Easter egg. It's only on screen for a short amount of time, but it can be found during this scene. Yeah, here's a clip.
There it is.
Holy shrimp! I don't know where to start. But all that matters is that it's just you and me and nobody.
Squidward? Is that you? Blocks, home to over 5 billion Krabby Patties. One evil mastermind would dare infiltrate this fortified fort and make off with its treasure. It is I, Kelp Thing. Do what I do.
Stop! You can't do that. Forbidden!
Okay, so this next one is very interesting, as it was either the art team being lazy or a really cool little reference to one of my favorite classic episodes, Grandma's Kisses. In this episode, we get numerous shots of Grandma SquarePants' house, and in the kitchen, we can see this bowl with 3 balls of food in it. I have no idea what the food is, but this is what I'm talking about here. Well, multiple seasons later, years later, in the episode Blackjack, we visit Grandma SquarePants' house again. And look, the exact same bowl and food appears again, potentially referencing Grandma's Kisses. I mean, I highly doubt that Grandma SquarePants left the same food out for 5 years. That would be pretty gross, so this was probably a reference. Here's a clip.
Hi, Grandma!
Come in and sit for a while. Have a cookie, SpongeBob. I baked a fresh batch of gingerbread men.
But where's Blackjack?
Oh, Blackjack just called and left a message for you. He couldn't make it because he's got some loose ends to tie up.
Loose ends? My parents! He's tied them up?
And if you don't hurry, you'll miss out on all the fun.
As a lot of our longtime viewers know, Season 1's Pizza Delivery is one of my favorite, all-time favorite episodes, with it being all about SpongeBob and Squidward going on a little pizza delivery adventure, and doing everything they can to get this box of pizza to its destination. Now, I don't know if the Krusty Krab still serves pizza to this day, but it is possible, considering that a Krusty Krab pizza box did pop up in a recent episode as an Easter egg. It's easy to miss, but in the episode Plankton Gets the Boot, a Krusty Krab pizza can be seen in SpongeBob's house, when he and Plankton are watching a movie in the living room. Pretty cool, huh? Now, you probably can notice there are a bunch of other Easter eggs in the shot, but I'm gonna leave you guys to find them, so leave a comment. What other Easter eggs are in this shot? Anyways though, here's that clip.
Ahoy there, Krusty Krab, how can I help you? Pizza? Of course we have pizza. Squid will bring it right over.
Mr. Kraft, we don't serve pizza.
Many unbearable hours later.
Oh, my love. What a fool I've been. You've always been the only one for me.
Our first Easter egg revolves around some familiar fish we've seen before. In the season 6 episode, Krabby Road, Plankton creates an entire band just to steal the Krabby Patty secret formula. Now, it's a good episode with some great moments. And if we watch closely during the episode's opening, we can spot an interesting season 3 Easter egg. In the episode No Weenies Allowed, SpongeBob struggles to get into a new bar called the Salty Spittoon, due to it only accepting the toughest of the toughest fish. SpongeBob is forced to wait in line with some of these tough fish, but this isn't the last time we've seen them. In the opening of the season 6 episode Krabby Road, they make their return, thus making for a fun little season 3 reference. They're in jail now, so I wonder what they did, but yeah, here's a clip.
You need to have muscles. You need to have muscles on your muscles. You need to have muscles on your eyeballs.
Ew.
Looks like a rip snorting good time, SpongeBob.
Yeah, let's go in.
And this is the maximum security level. Since this is your first day, I'll let you peek at our #1 inmate. He's too dangerous to let him around the other inmates.
Our last Easter egg can be found in the episode Boating Buddies. In this episode, instead of a typical SpongeBob boating school episode, is all about Squidward attending boating school after getting a ticket. As you can imagine, this was all SpongeBob's fault. Of course. But luckily for him, SpongeBob decides to help out, eventually leading us to this scene where Squidward does his driving exam. For a few frames, the rare incidental character Granny appears, thus making her first appearance since her debut episode, Have You Seen This Snail?
Just let go of it! Hooligans!
There you are, Miss Tuftsy. Oh, Grandma finally found you.
Sheldon Plankton is quite the inventor, with the innocent yet evil little guy creating all sorts of gadgets, weapons, and robots that are all usually used for one-off appearances in episodes. But there has been one invention of his that has popped up multiple times, and that's Robot Plankton. Making his first appearance in the second SpongeBob movie, the robot has appeared twice, with the most recent appearance being in the episode Plankton Retires. The design is pretty much identical, so I would personally say that this was an intentional Easter egg by the art team. Who knows though? Here's a clip.
Me bunions are telling me it's time to stop gloating. Huh? Looks like you're falling apart at the seams. Huh?
For me, sub, a robot! Victory dance, booyah.
How would you be doing that when you're all the way over here in Dullsville,
Because I'm a decoy lookalike robot! Gotcha!
So what I miss?
The episode SpongeBob's Last Stand is all about SpongeBob and Patrick protesting the demolition of their favorite Bikini Bottom location, Jellyfish Fields. Now at one point, we see a parade celebrating the construction of the Shelly Superhighway. And if you're a true SpongeBob fan, you'll notice that the band of the parade is wearing the exact same outfits as Squidward's band in Band Geeks, thus making for another interesting little Easter egg. I love these season 1, 2, or 3 callbacks. They're the best. Here's a clip.
They couldn't come, they died.
Then who's that?
would be my band!
We're ready to perform, Squidward.
Well, Squiddy, this is exactly how I pictured your band would look. That's his eager face.
In the episode, Whatever Happened to SpongeBob, SpongeBob develops amnesia after running away from Bikini Bottom and eventually finds himself in New Kelp City. This place is very similar to New York, and believe it or not, SpongeBob actually becomes mayor of this place. However, due to him having amnesia and forgetting his name, he goes by a new name, that being Mayor Cheesehead Brownpants. Well, this is actually referenced in the Season 7 episode, One Course Meal, when Plankton literally refers to SpongeBob as Cheesehead. Here's a clip.
For this, I appoint you Mayor of New Kelp City!
Hi, Plankton. What you doing laying in the middle of the road?
Go away, Cheesehead! Can't you see I'm trying to get run over? In fact, better yet, just step on me as hard as you can. Would you do that for me?